don't know whether they're going to be better off playing a doubleheader today, whether they would have played yesterday. Is it going to be great to be able to take two games on a Saturday? Is it going to be able to, on a Friday, is it going to be worse to lose two games on a Friday? I don't know. There's still the idea that they still have to go out there and play the games.
I think I asked you this yesterday in terms of football, and I'm not sure if you can explore it in baseball terms. But again, I think South Carolina is at such a fluid confidence standpoint, if that makes sense, that if they come out and they get rolling, that it's good to play two games in 2 days. Like I think it can go. I very well could end up being wrong on this, but I honestly almost feel like you're going to know what's going to happen for the both games within the first 3 or 4 innings.
Ooh, that might be fair.
Like it's just it's this team is at
so
that
it's not
point.
going to be. It's not going to be 2-9. It's going to be like 118 inning game, right? So
Yeah.
Inning 3 is probably going to indicate what happens in inning 15.
I feel like the fans and the players are kind of all on the same page where if South Carolina can come out and get going early and get a lead, then everybody's going to kind of, all right, okay, yeah, here we go. And the confidence level rises and the team regains some of that swagger a little bit that they had. And then I think they play well. South Carolina's had a problem lately, a major problem of getting behind early. And again, on Tuesday night, when you score 9 runs, Preston, you expect to win. You think you're going to win. But even in that game, South Carolina, again, was not a team that got off to, they did, I take that back. Saturday night was the game that they did get off the hot start. They got up 4-0 in the first and then ended up losing 11-9. So I apologize. That Tuesday night was the game. It was last weekend, and it's been other games where they've fallen behind quick. I think it was the Kentucky series where they never got off to a great start.
Well, there's the idea of perspective, Bill, because even when they were playing well and winning a lot of games, they had a little bit of a tendency to get behind and sort of rally back and win some games from behind. But we saw that as a sign of resilience, where this team knew that they were able to win any type of games, any type of situations. They had the confidence to come from behind. Well, the other side of that coin is when you get down and now all of a sudden you don't have all of that confidence, or you don't feel like you're playing as well, and you're still sort of doing that. So you're right. Huge. The first game is used to say each game counts equal. That would not be correct, because the first game of this series is probably more important than any other game that they play this week.
And, in football related, there were times, I guess, or there have been times where I've talked about it. I think I always felt like Will Muschamp's teams were that way, that he had them so wound up that if they could come out and get off to a good start, maybe they could continue to play well. Whereas if they got off to a bad start, maybe you can kind of reminisce on that from your time.
Yeah, well, that was the big difference I thought this year with Shane Beamer's team, because I did think that they were able to play well when things were going well. And it wasn't until that Clemson match. Matter of fact, all season, they had not won a game where the lead changed, which was a wild statistic. The only games they won, they had started off winning, and they continued winning because they were playing well. It wasn't until the Clemson game, all the way at the end of the season, where you saw them have a lead change, fall from behind, and actually come back and win. And so that's the indication of a team that was confident, prepared, and ready to follow through with their game plan. This baseball team has shown that they are capable of doing that, but that was when they were in a better headspace, and also they were better prepared physically. So we'll see.
803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in this morning. We'll talk a little baseball. We get into that last night. NBA, I feel a little bit better. Nuggets go up 2-0. I feel like we might avoid a Lakers LeBron having a chance to win a championship. Makes me feel a little bit relaxed, only to now realize apparently there's a golfer that I really don't want to win the PGA Championship.
You didn't even know this yesterday.
Didn't know this yesterday. I really didn't intend for Bryson DeChambeau to be in contention. There's just something about it. Like, I've gone back and forth. You haven't been here for the back and forth of Bryson DeChambeau because he whines so much.
Okay.
And then I kind of there was a tournament, I think it was the Arnold Palmer tournament, where he kind of just leaned into, I'm this big brute of a driver. Let me try and hit it. I think it was like 360 yards across a pond, almost under the green. And he did it. He turned around and celebrated with fans. And I love the personality. And now I'm kind of back to like, he whines too much. This was not what I expected. I did not expect to have these kind of feelings yesterday afternoon with Bryson DeChambeau taking the lead in the PGA Championship. And I'm okay with the live golfers. We talked about this. I'm okay with Brooks Koepka. Really don't mind Phil Mickelson. Dustin Johnson's a guy that I'll pull for because he's a local guy and there's some ties there. And I'm okay with it. Turns out apparently seeing Bryson DeChambeau's name at the top of the leaderboard, I'm like, man, this guy better not win. This is the one live golfer. This guy right here is the one live golfer that cannot win this tournament. If he's coming up 18 and has the lead, some fan needs to run out and Tanya Harding his knee and see if he can finish the.
Now I get my players mixed up. Who was the one who had the meme where he was rolling his eyes and he's like, "Oh, this guy"? Was it DeChambeau or Koepka? One of those two. I know they kind of had going back and forth.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, they walked by. It was one was being interviewed and one walked behind the other.
Yeah.
I have to go back and
he was like, "Oh, I lost my train of thought."
I think it was Koepka that rolled his eyes when DeChambeau walked behind him.
All right. I'm just trying to figure out. My whole thing with sports that I don't know a lot about. Who's the villain? Who should I cheer for?
Yeah.
Ross Chastain is punching people in the pit road.
He's holding down the hand and
he's holding down the hand and punching people. Then he ran my man Kyle Larson off the road the other night. So I have mixed feelings towards Ross Chastain. So the whole point is just let me know who the villain is, and either I can get behind him or not.
Well, DeChambeau is in my opinion, he's
creeping
Draymond Green-esque up there. It's just a team. It's not a team sport. It's an individual sport. So when you punch your own teammate, it looks a little worse for Draymond Green than it does when Bryson DeChambeau acts the way he does. So that was from the PGA Championship. We'll get into that a little bit. We'll get into some wrestling. WWE is at Colonial Life Arena tonight, and we're kind of at that point where we can talk a little baseball, although, again, we previewed it a lot yesterday, only to not have a baseball game. Only so much we can preview again today. I want to know your favorite childhood wrestler growing up. Mm-hmm. Was there a match that, just changed your, there was WWF back in the day was what had some of the big matches. I was WCW. I didn't get into the WWF. It's very, back in our day in the 90s, you were kind of one or the other. You had to pick your lane and go with it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it's very similar to North Carolina and Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Like you picked you might not be fully enthralled with one or the other, but you picked one and that was your kind of your side. You were either Sting, Ric Flair, Lex Luger, the Steiner brothers. I know they would all switch around at some point, but I'll ask you that too this morning. So if you've got some wrestling memories, because Friday night SmackDown in town tonight, Roman Reigns is there. I'm just saying people that I've seen on the billboard, by the way.
Just naming folks.
The Usos brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Gunter, I believe, is there.
Mm-hmm.
Gunter, whatever his name. Yeah, my son's very fired up.
Is he excited?
He's ready because it's a big. There were.
How old is he again?
He's 11.
Oh yeah. Oh, prime. That's
prime wrestling.
That's prime wrestling.
What the good news is, we phased out of we need to buy the belt or the shirt stage. So this is where just the right stage where he gets into it, but we don't need the memorabilia that we purchased, because I remember going a few years with him and my daughter, and they both needed the belt. So they're winning another $70 for good time. So we'll get into that. Robin going with Rainbow Express.
Oh yeah. So they had the Rainbow Express versus the Midnight Express versus the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah.
So there were several expresses. I don't know what was going on with the writers. They were like, let's just name another express tag team.
Yeah. I forgot about
lamenting the days of the tag team. Oh man.
Oh, the true tag teams, because you very rarely ever saw the Steiner brothers wrestle apart from each other. The Road Warriors never wrestled. I think they were WCW for a little while, but they were mainly WWF. Yeah, you never see that. You had the Four Horsemen, the original bad boy group of wrestling with Arn Anderson and
Tully Blanchard.
Totally, yeah.
I'm primed up for this one. I'm ready to go.
Good. We'll get into that. Chris Deering going to join us this morning, and we'll try and get him to 8:00 this morning. Preston's got to get out, so we got.
Also, I'm just laughing because wrestling conversation can devolve into my other favorite game, which is just naming dudes.
That's pretty much. Sativa just weighs in. Jake the Snake.
There we go.
Yeah. Anybody that performs with one of those. What did he have? A boa constrictor or
Lucifer?
Oh, see, I didn't. Again,
you got to get this is deep.
That was
He would just put the snake on. He's like, oh no, oh gosh.
That's true. And the Jim Ross just yelling, just someone's life was in danger.
Oh gosh.
We'll get we'll get to all that this morning. So if you want to weigh in with some wrestling memories, we'll go down that lane, keep you updated on that, get into a few other things that happened in sports yesterday. Gigi Jackson performing at the NBA Draft Combine. Talk a little bit about that. A lot to get to this morning. You're listening to Preston Thorne. I'm Bill Gunner. She is Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game on demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Oh, big week. It's going to be a fun weekend of sports. Got going yesterday with PGA Championship. You've got a great NASCAR race. You've got South Carolina baseball. Tomorrow is supposed to be beautiful. Maybe you're planning a great meal, a great family dinner, or a great afternoon cookout. It all starts at Old Timey Meat Market. Visit one of their 3 locations, Irmo, South Congaree, or my favorite store because I go there, Lexington. That's right. Go ahead today. Put Old Timey Meat Market on the list of errands you need to run. Go check out their incredible selection of steak, of pork, of chicken. Maybe this weekend you want to do a little fish. Maybe you want to go a little salmon, whether it's sitting out back and grilling. I'll be using the smoker this weekend, or whether it's a nice family dinner, something from the oven, whatever it may be. Old Timey Meat Market's prices absolutely can't be beat. And I tell you what, also, the way they treat you when you walk in the door, knowing your name, knowing what you like, knowing about your family, it's the way your butcher should be, being someone who's friendly to you. The local neighborhood butcher was always everybody's friend growing up. An Old Timey Meat Market is that type of place. Go visit them again, South Congaree, Irmo, or Lexington. Go visit them and pick up some chicken salad. Put it on a little cracker tonight with some hot sauce. Watch a little baseball. You can do that. I'm telling you what, you won't regret that snack. Maybe in the morning, you want a little bit of breakfast. They got an incredible selection of peppered bacon that you can choose from. Throw in the oven tomorrow morning or put on the skillet and grill. Whatever you want, I promise you this. Old Timey Meat Market has it. And I'll tell you again, their prices are absolutely fantastic. They can't be beat. So go visit Old Timey Meat Market this weekend and tell them you heard it right here on 107.5 The Game with Bill Gunner.
This is Boomer Science with CBS Sports Minute. According to Sports Info Solutions, only a quarter of the way into the season, already 10 pitchers have gotten seriously hurt by line drives. These include Kansas City's Ryan Yarbrough, who suffered facial fractures, and Colorado's Ryan Feltner, who fractured his skull. There were only 8 such significant blows from comebackers to the mound all of last season. I'm Boomer Science. CBS Sports Radio.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you, with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I had a nighttime routine for my frequent heartburn. I would drink milk, I would sleep upright with more pillows, but that painful burning stayed. So I made Prilosec OTC part of my morning routine. With just 1 pill each morning, Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid production, blocking heartburn day and night. Now I have a new nighttime routine. I call it sleeping.
1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. With Prilosec OTC. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Sponsored by Indeed.com. Finding a great hire can be a challenge. That's why there's Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 toward your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
It's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Give my friends at Zerust Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning a call. Right now, mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. Book online at ZerustColumbia.com.
No one likes to talk about the injuries, pain, disability, and lost loved ones that result from terrible car and tractor-trailer accidents. I'm Jason Reynolds. At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we're honored to be the lawyers our clients rely on during their toughest moments.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When a work injury disrupts your life, I work hard to get you the medical treatment and workers' compensation you depend on.
Samuels Reynolds, True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Carolina Power Equipment, the Midland's Kubota Superstore, is proud to announce our association with Kai Kroger, University of South Carolina punter extraordinaire.
I am super happy to be here. Carolina Power Equipment is the place to come get yourself a Kai Bota.
Sorry, Kai, that's Kubota. You know, Kubota tractors and zero turns.
That's right. Carolina Power Equipment has the awesome Kai Bota tractors that can kick some serious dirt.
Yes, the Kubota L Series tractors are some of the most dependable and popular tractors on the market.
Yep, and the Kai Bota zero turns can keep your lawn looking like game day every day. Guaranteed to stop and turn on a dime, just like my sweet kicks.
It's Kubota. Kubota.
I wish I wasn't paying attention. I should have turned the live stream on just now because Jen and Preston were talking about the Hulk.
I was about 85% sure I knew what I was talking about.
There, I believe you're right. Michael and Bruce Buffer.
And Bruce says, "It's time."
You think they sat around the dinner table one night like, well, let's get ready to rumble?
Actually, it's a crazier story because I heard it on ESPN Daily. So apparently they're brothers.
Right.
They did not grow up together. It's a wild ass story. Like they're brothers, but like, you know, their dad was like a Rolling Stone, and then they sort of found each other later, and they both figured out that they had this crazy voice. It's ridiculous. It's time.
I see that. It's time podcast.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, I was watching yesterday I was watching Ric Flair have a woo off with Kurt Angle. It was so ridiculous. It's so stupid. Hey, that's my line.
We'll be dealing with the rain for a little bit, but mid to late morning it should be kind of tapering off a little bit. 74 will be our partly cloudy tomorrow, 84, and maybe a couple storms on Sunday, and 80 for the high. Again, some scattered rain, and 59 at 107.5 the game.
Broadcasting live from the
Chevrolet
Studios. This is 107.5 the game.
Travis, I'll read this.
And see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Eight 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in here. 724 on a rainy Friday morning, but it's supposed to clear out. Did I say 724?
I think you did.
Okay, we got to fix this clock right here in front of me. I just read. I'm like Ron Burgundy to an extent. I just read what's like
with that.
right in front of me. So yeah, 624 would make more sense.
I didn't want people to think they're running behind or running late or something.
Yeah, 624. Yeah, we've got a clock in here that has not been updated, I believe. 803-404.
Well, it has to be for like a year because we sprung forward.
Or it's just been somebody's obviously they've come in here and messed with the stuff for this live stream thing to be working properly, which is good. So I'll fix that. That's an easy fix. 803-404-6100. Preston, you've started the day off poorly, but this is very fixable. This is very, very fixable. Travis weighs in on our live stream. Preston, every morning, my 9-year-old and I listen to y'all while waiting on the bus. He wasn't very happy just now. He took you being on the radio this morning, meaning you weren't going to be in his school this morning. I filled him in, but the reaction before that was pretty priceless.
My fault. It's one of these radio tricks. We can be in two places at once.
Yeah. So Preston will be getting out of here about 7:30 this morning to head out to Chapin Elementary School. We'll have Chris Deering in at 8 o'clock this morning to talk about what's going on across the playoff spectrum with baseball and softball and everything else going on. Carlton hitting me up on our 107.5 The Game live stream and letting me know that also the South Carolina High School League track and field championships begin today. So we are at that time. I believe school is 2 weeks. I believe it's I know my kid's school is 2 weeks from today is the final day.
Yeah,
so.
we're getting towards the end, man. Pray for your teachers because this is the worst time of year. It's a rough time of the year because the end is there. Everybody's tired. You're tired of each other. It's just like, well, we can just finish this thing out. So yeah, shout out to all the teachers finishing the thing out.
So for a lot of those, about 2 weeks away, and that also means the end of the high school season. It's been a interesting high school season. It's crazy that we were, Preston, we'll have Chris back on when we really get ramped back up for high school football in August, and it's not far away. Football not far away at all. Things have kind of died down since the beginning of the week. At the beginning of the week, you and I started off talking a little bit about what was happening at ACC spring meetings. The SEC spring meetings are 2 weeks away. They'll start the day after Memorial Day, and I think we're all hoping for well, let me speak for myself. I'm hoping we get some closure on this scheduling debate. We all expect it to be 9 games for the SEC to go to for conference games, but I'm really hoping when we get to that thing that we not only get the confirmation that it's 9 games, but they just go ahead and lay out the schedule so that we start to get an idea and we can spend the month of June kind of talking about, oh, okay, here's what it looks like moving forward, and you can kind of match it up with South Carolina's non-conference schedule moving forward.
Yeah, I was an advocate for the 9-game schedule. I think playing more SEC games is better. It's a better product. It's more bang for your buck as far as the dollars are concerned as tickets are. But we don't know who it's going to be. And I was always interested in seeing what rivalries they were going to keep in place, what cross conference, are they going to be even conference? What's going to be the situation with it? So it's sort of up in the air right now.
I'll contend. It sounds like a lot of the people seem to think that South Carolina's 3 full
what's going to be
permanent
opponents
are going to be Florida, Tennessee, and Georgia. Florida, Tennessee, and Kentucky. You wouldn't get Georgia because Georgia wants to keep Florida. They want to keep Auburn, and then they're probably going to get a third one, and it won't be South Carolina. And I'm okay with that because for everybody says, well, we got to play Georgia every year. You're still playing them about 2 out of every 4 years.
Yeah,
they're not rotating. You got to remember this new schedule, this new format that we'll learn about here in 2 weeks. You're going to see everybody at least twice, at least once, but likely twice every 4 years.
I believe might have been listening to Heath yesterday, and I don't think Georgia has played Texas A&M since they've been in the SEC.
They've played,
or they haven't.
They haven't been to College Station. They haven't been to College Station.
Yeah,
which
is like, I mean, that should happen. That if we're in the conference and we're talking about traveling places, you should, within the span of 10 years or however long it's been, you should be able to go each place.
I don't think South Carolina's been to Tuscaloosa since. Somebody can correct me on this. I don't think South Carolina's been to Tuscaloosa since 2009, the Mark Ingram game. It was a close game because South Carolina beat Alabama in 2010, if I'm thinking correct. If my years are correct, I think it's 2010 South Carolina beat them. But in 2009, again, my years get thrown off on this a little bit, so it might have been 08. But it was, remember, South Carolina went down there. It was the South Carolina got into the red zone and threw 4 fades to Alshon Jeffrey, and South Carolina was down by a touchdown, 13-6 late, and Mark Ingram just lined up in the Wildcat. But if it's 09, it's 14 years. If it's
that's a long time.
Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I don't think South Carolina's been back to Tuscaloosa since that game. And so, yeah, you have these stretches where teams haven't played. Matter of fact, South Carolina, honestly, since again, my years are just off on me. I think it was 09 that South Carolina beat Alabama, and then because South Carolina didn't beat them during the stretch of 11 win seasons, but South Carolina's only played Alabama once, and that was the Ryan Holinsky game during the Muschamp era, where so it's been a long time in between games for South Carolina and Alabama. And you're not going to have that anymore. You're going to start seeing teams. I think it'll be fun to see Texas and Oklahoma. Brent Venables rolling in here, but we'll learn more about that
I'm just laughing at being referred to as the Ryan Holinsky game.
I have interesting analogies for pretty much. You can throw almost any game at me, like over the last 25 years.
Not the Tua Tagovailoa game.
It's also the game I learned that Alabama's wide receivers were fast.
Not the Henry Ruggs game.
Yeah, they were fast. But 803-404-6100. The Anderson brothers, Brian says the Anderson brothers were
Ole
the
and
ultimate
Arn.
bad boys and truly old school.
Yeah, Ole and Arn.
And I love this analogy from anonymous texter. Best part about old WCW was anyone could be a wrestler. Arn Anderson looked like he was your high school offensive line coach who was also your geometry teacher third period.
Absolutely. The enforcer. The enforcer was the man. Had a very great, solid beard game. Always wore those aviator shades. Had like a comb over.
Yeah.
He was big. Definitely not cut, though. Just kind of like just a big hulking dude. All the enforcer.
I think I'd like to go back and find it. I'm sure it happened. Is an Arn Anderson, Rick Steiner, because he was the bulldog, right? He was, and he'd get down in that. He had the wrestling headgear actually that he would wear, and then he'd get down in that little bulldog stance and chase somebody around.
He used to be like, "Oh, Rick Steiner, he's a NCAA champion." He used to wear like the Letterman's jacket.
Yeah,
Syracuse and Michigan. What could I have been doing with my brain when I was 10 or 11 that I was wasting it on WCW?
Did you ever buy? I did. I'm going to admit this to being a geek. Did you ever buy the wrestling, or did you ever get the wrestling magazines?
No, but shout out to Mike Mooneyham, who used to write in the Post and Courier every Sunday, and I used to look forward to reading that column. About wrestling. So maybe a step away from magazine. Still pretty dorky.
803. Well, I'll tell you why that wasn't pretty dorky. It relates to something you're doing later today that maybe we need more.
There you go.
803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on The Game.
Friday from 9 a.m. to noon in the bonus, the Garnet Trust Hour and Gamecock Central Takeover Hour will broadcast live at Firehouse Subs, 2301 Augusta Road, West Columbia.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
It's time to get your outdoors ready with integrated media. Spring and summer, especially now. It's raining. You don't think you can sit outside. That's okay. The folks at Integrated Media can take care of all your needs. You can get your TVs, Samsung Terrace TVs, waterproof, Sonos outdoor speakers for TV and music. And you can get Wi-Fi that works indoors and outdoors. Control all your devices from just one remote, from home theater setup to adjusting your thermostat or monitoring your security systems from your cell phone. Integrated Media is the company to call. So call Nathan and Michael at 803-948-8327. That's 803-948-8327. Or get them online at integratedmediainc.com. That's online at integratedmediainc.com.
At the United States Postal Service, we're reinventing our network to help keep your business moving. With new shipping options to deliver better value, greater flexibility to conveniently reach your customers, more confident shipping with new informed delivery features, and new electric vehicles for a cleaner, brighter future. Fast, reliable, perfectly orchestrated. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/moving forward.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
I'm proud to work for Volvo Cars because we're helping build a safer, more sustainable future for everyone. My name is Tamara Thompson. I'm from South Carolina, born and raised in Sumter. I'm a quality launch supervisor at the Volvo Cars plant in Ridgeville. I'm helping build the new Volvo EX90 here. At Volvo Cars, people are at the center. We feel supported, recognized, and feel like we can grow our careers. And we're hiring. Apply now at readysc.org/Volvo.
No manufacturing experience required. Must be 18 years or older with a high school diploma or GED.
I'm Bridget Condon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The NFL said that there will not be a vote amongst ownership to ratify the sale of the Washington Commanders during next week's spring league meeting in Minneapolis. NFL Executive Vice President of Communications Jeff Miller told reporters during a conference call that there will be an update on the sale next week. Commanders co-owners Daniel and Tanya Snyder announced on May 12th that they'd entered into a purchase agreement to sell the franchise to a partnership led by Josh Harris. The agreement is subject to NFL approval by a vote of at least 3/4 of the league's 32 owners. The Giants have signed first-round pick cornerback Deonte Banks to his rookie contract. New York traded up one spot to take Banks 24th overall in the draft. And the Steelers are giving a 2-year extension to backup quarterback Mitch Trubisky, according to NFL insider Ian Rappaport. Trubisky is under contract for the next 3 seasons. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Staples has everything your business needs all in one place. Shipping supplies and services so you can fill orders from all over in one stop. Plus professional print and marketing services at your fingertips. And now during Staples Small Business Deal Days, when rewards members spend $100 or more, they get $20 back in rewards plus another $10 back with the Staples Connect app. And you'll find new deals in store every week on tech, chairs, and shipping supplies. Get everything for your business for less at Staples. Rewards offer ends 5/27. Limit 1. Redeemable in store only.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
I-77 southbound at Bluff Road, the right lane is currently blocked. So allow a little extra time going through there if you would. I-20 eastbound just after Spears Creek Church Road, that would be exit 82. An accident there. Kittiwake at Highway 1. Also, you'll find a tie-up Monticello Road at Hayward Brockington Road. And Highway 321 near Mack Street. An accident as well. Your forecast for today, the showers will linger into like mid-morning, mid to late morning, then should be tapering off. 74 for the high today, 84 tomorrow, and 80 on Sunday with a couple storms popping back up. Right now, though, there's rain, a little bit breezy, 59 at 107.5 The Game.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Travis weighing in on our live stream says, what's the chances of Hacksaw Jim, is it Duggan or Dugan?
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Duggan, okay. Is listening and calls in since he lives right over there in Kershaw. He does. A couple people have informed me. He Hacksaw Jim Duggan right down the street from us.
Shout out to Hacksaw Jim Duggan. You were the reason why I knew what a 2x4 was. He's gonna hit him with the 2x4. And I have a very distinct idea of what a 2x4 is now.
Rick weighs in and says, Mike still writes articles, even though he's retired as far as wrestling books. I've had over 2,500, still have a few. 70 years old, have seen over 1,000 matches back in the Mid-Atlantic days.
My man.
Wahoo was my favorite.
Bill Wahoo McDaniel.
You know what? It's Friday. I'm not really in the mood to go down this path, but I'm fine. I'll go down it for just a second. What you said actually is exactly correct. And you're leaving here in just a little while. You're going out to Chapin High School. You and Langston, y'all go around and you promote reading. There is an element of when we were growing up, reading the paper. And it didn't have to be, it could just be the comics at times, but just reading words on paper. And you mentioned that about Mike Mooneyham's columns. And I was thinking about back to me on Sunday mornings, I'd get up and they'd have the little snippets, not no more than 50 or 60 words from football games on Saturday night before, and reading those and reading articles or rereading the takes that were being made in the state newspaper on South Carolina football. I don't think kids do that these days.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's the idea of scrolling and reading some of your social media, which they're not doing a lot of that compared to sports. But we always tell the students that reading things that you're interested in, reading the sports paper. I can vividly remember, by the time, my old man would get the paper and he would be reading the serious part of the paper. I didn't want no parts of that. So I would read the sports section and I'd be looking through box scores and reading articles and different things in the paper. And that's legit. Mike Mooneyham's column was something that I would look forward to reading. I believe it would come out on Sundays. And I would look forward to reading that every week.
And for me also, the other one, you just talk about reading and growing up and raising our kids and raising them to read, and the old Spurs and Feathers that would come
There
out.
you go.
And once I could pry it out of my father's hands, or find it left wherever his favorite reading room had been.
Well, you know what that was, of course.
I would read that. And you're right. I don't think kids. We were talking about riding bicycles. I don't think kids do that because, unfortunately, the newspaper is the dying breed. We have the news right here on my cell phone or on my computer right in front of us, and it's the easiest thing in the world is to lift up and see what it is. As you said that about Mike Mooneyham's columns, I got to say that correctly, but it makes me think maybe I should get back into subscribing to just the Sunday paper, just so Austin, I can hand it to him and be like, here, practice your reading right here with me.
There's something to that. I will say that, especially it was not this past Sunday, but last Sunday. This is something we can get into with Chris Deering. But the local journalists do a great job. Lou Beja does a great job. They had
I don't give Lou that much credit.
Yeah, it had a very in-depth article breaking down the issue that is coming up as far as the public charter schools and how that has affect athletic play. And that's not the conversation we're having right now. But if that's something that you've been hearing about and sort of seeing different people's opinions, it's really cool to get to a chance to read the whole article laid out in the state newspaper. So shout out to those guys.
The Bushwalkers.
I
think they were the Bushwhackers. I think
the Bushwhackers.
Right?
Yep, They did that silly dance across the ring. Sort of like this.
Yeah.
They just did the bushwhacker. They were terrible though. They were so scrubby. They just would just come in and get beat up.
I think they won a couple matches.
Yeah,
here
but I was like, why are we letting these guys get too much airtime, man? Get them out of here.
Richard weighs in this one. He says, I was 9 years old and Lex Luger was on the airplane with my brother and I. He took a picture with me on his shoulders in the torture rack in the airport after we landed. By far the coolest star I've ever met. I like how Richard also in this, just to be clear, says he wasn't doing the torture rack on me. We just posed.
That's fire. If you just say, come here, son, they put him in a torture rack and he's just hanging on his shoulder.
Him up because Richard was kicking the back of his seat afterwards. You just walk off the plane.
See, there's a shared memory that we all have because there's no other world that you can say he put me in the torture rack and everybody would know what he's talking about. But I have a clear idea of you dangling off his shoulders.
Yeah, Lex Luger was, you had him and Sting, and that was who I was a fan of growing up with WCW. Was a huge Sting fan. Then I obviously grew out of the wrestling phase. So every once in a while, a commercial would come up and it was Sting and like the black and white paint.
Yeah.
He like bulked up big time, and he's like standing in the rafters staring
that was
down.
The Crow. When he went, he kind of did this thing where he's like, I guess I'm gonna be the Crow Sting now, and he's just up in the rafters. Scary Sting. He's like, oh, there he is up at top.
Yeah, and that was at that point. I mean, that was probably high schoolish into college. I was like, all right, wrestling's taking a turn here. This is out of control. I don't know. And then Hulk Hogan went from yellow and being a person of the people to the black and white look.
Yeah,
and
that was clearly when the NWO took over.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So never
Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah, there we go. So that's your favorite wrestling memories. I ask. We'll do this until Preston leaves. I want the best tag team. Who would win if we had a tournament? We're not going to break out a big board. Have a tournament. Who would you go with? The Road Warriors? You going with the Andersons? 803-404-6100. We'll throw that one out there this morning. WWE tonight over at Colonial Life Arena. I'll say that, Colonial Life Arena has a lot of great events, Monster Jam and Disney on Ice and all that stuff. WWE is fun.
Yeah,
it's actually a fun crowd to kind of be around.
Of course.
I was telling you, I really could just, with the rain and everything, I could go home and go to sleep this afternoon. But
putting it on the board of folks that we're efforting, right? Along with you, Cornbread Cowboy, if you're out there listening, we're still trying to get you in there. But there's obviously a USC football connection with Matrix Belton, who's wrestling in the WWE NXT division, which is sort of the next people up, and he's been doing really solid work down there. And we've been trying to get him on the show, but he's in a big corporate conglomerate, and you got to go through the publicist and get him. But we're going to get him though. So Trick, though, he's not coming into town with this particular show, but we do have a USC representative that is making his way up the wrestling ranks.
Okay, there you go. 803-404-6100. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner. She's Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Gotta take.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Security Federal Bank, helping people, changing lives since 1922. Member FDIC.
If you think all banks are the same, come experience the difference at Security Federal Bank. Security Federal Bank has unmatched customer service and a hometown feel because we're a hometown bank. Security Federal Bank, helping people, changing lives. Member FDIC.
This is Preston here with Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. And Bill, I must admit, every time I read this reader, since time has began, every time I say cracked and shattered glass, I think about wrestling. I think about somebody just getting a glass shattered over their head, and the folks from Absolute Glass come in to clean it and take care of it. But if you're not cracking your windshield over somebody's head, you may have it in your car, and that's no problem because they'll come out to your location and they replace it for you, usually for free, and they work directly with the insurance to take away the headache. So if you're looking to increase the value of your home with new windows and mirrors, Absolute Glass will come out and take care of all of that for you. It reminds me of the time when Shawn Michaels threw Marty Jannetty through the glass and broke up the wrestling group and went solo. Key moment of my life. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures, or barbershop windows, whatever you need, Absolute Glass can take care of that for you. So you hear me say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
Sponsored by Audible. Kickstart your imagination with Audible. Hear celebrity and music memoirs, mysteries, true crime, and more. Audible is the home of storytelling, audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
Uneven sidewalks, pool decks, or patios? Canty can repair them for just a fraction of the cost of replacement. Call Canty Foundation Specialists today for your free estimate.
Canty can fix it.
Uneven concrete can be a dangerous tripping hazard leading to injury. Call the experts at Canty to permanently repair your sinking or cracked concrete. Call 753-1495 or visit cantycanfixit.com. Canty can fix it.
Hi, I'm Glenn Matthews.
And I'm Melanie Matthews.
And we are the third generation owners of Modern Exterminating Company.
In a time when corporate consolidation, high-pressure door knockers, and inexperienced startups are becoming the norm, isn't it nice to have an experienced, local, family-owned company that you can count on since 1955?
Modern Exterminating has been the local, independent industry leader in the pest control business for the last 67 years. Experience the local, family-owned difference for yourself at 803-765-2315 or pestfreesc.com.
Spring just around the corner. You want to make sure that pool out back is looking beautiful and ready to be used. Contact Corley Pool Solutions today. How about this? They are less expensive than actually using the pool store. That's right. Tracy Corley and his team are ready to help you today. Give them a phone call, 803-445-8109. They'll maintain your pool. Make sure that pool looks absolutely fabulous. So call them today, 803-445-8109.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring correctional officers, nurses, food services, facilities maintenance, mental health professionals, law enforcement officers, teachers, and more statewide. There are sign-on bonuses for officers, food services, nurses, and law enforcement officers. South Carolina Department of Corrections has great employee benefits like 6 weeks of PTO accrued yearly and police officer retirement. Start a rewarding new career today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
I'm proud to work for Volvo Cars because we're helping build a safer, more sustainable future for everyone. My name is Tamara Thompson. I'm from South Carolina, born and raised in Sumter. I'm a quality launch supervisor at the Volvo Cars plant in Ridgeville. I'm helping build the new Volvo EX90 here. At Volvo Cars, people are at the center. We feel supported, recognized, and feel like we can grow our careers. And we're hiring. Apply now at readysc.org/Volvo.
No manufacturing experience required. Must be 18 years or older with a high school diploma or GED.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
And looking at traffic conditions out there this morning, the left lane is blocked. I-26 eastbound at exit 125. That's Old Sandy Run Road. And I-77 southbound at Bluff Road, the right lane currently blocked. I-20 eastbound after Spears Creek Church Road, you'll find a tie-up. Kitty Drive at Augusta Highway. Monticello Road at Hayward Brockington Road, an accident there. And Highway 321 near Mack Street, an accident as well. 74 for the high today. Those showers should be coming to a close late, mid to late morning. Should be here. Fading out is what she's trying to say. Trying to do too many things at once in here. High today, 74. 84 for the high tomorrow. 80 with a few storms on Sunday. But we do have that rain right now. A little bit windy. And 59 at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
We are on tour, and we're doing it better than anybody else alive. Now, Buddy Landell, it's so hard for me to sit back here in this studio looking at a guy out here hollering my name when last year I spent more money on spilt liquor in bars from one side of this world to the other than you made. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down.
There's nobody that does it like that.
Oh, I just felt a warm feeling just rush over me.
Really?
Yes. Oh man, what an orator.
You bring this up. You bring this topic up, and it does just take, I think, most of the listeners back to the ages of somewhere between about 8 and 12, 7 and 12. DJ weighs in and says, kind of dorky looking back. My brother and I would tie bandanas and socks around our legs from knee to ankles and be the Rock and Roll Express.
No doubt.
Only problem was neither of us had blonde hair. 9 to 11-year-olds was all about the wrestling. Good old days. The good old days. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Johnny wants to weigh in this morning. Johnny, how you doing? What's on your mind?
I'm doing well. So I'm 60, and my dad was a sports writer when I was a kid. The Columbia record, it's no longer in existence, but one of the things he covered was wrestling. So every Tuesday night at 8:15 bell time, we would be at the Township Auditorium. The number of matches that I saw, and that was, I was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. It was quite the experience. I was a full horseman guy myself.
There you go.
So
yep. That's the thing. You had your wrestlers in the Four Horsemen. That's ingrained in a lot of us that age.
8:15 bell time.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you.
8:15 bell time every Tuesday night. Yep. And he was a newspaper guy, so it goes into that people don't read the newspaper anymore.
Yeah.
It's just kind of but I still read Mike Mooneyham's article when I get a chance.
I need to check him out. I didn't realize it was still writing, so I need to check it out. Shout out to Mike.
Yeah, he still writes it. We go to Edisto twice a year, and every Sunday we get the paper and we read Mike Mooneyham's article. My father-in-law and I do. We share that love of wrestling. From back in the day, I don't like it now, but as a kid, man, it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Different now. It's different. It's different.
A whole lot different now. Yeah. So I didn't understand. So we get there early, and one time I was watching and I saw Ric Flair and Wahoo McDaniel get out of the same limo, and I didn't understand because they're supposed to be like fighting each other. I thought it was real.
Just ruined you for the day.
It ruined me.
Appreciate
what you guys do.
Appreciate it, Johnny. Thank you for the phone call.
Yeah, man.
Brandon weighs in, says, talking about tag teams back in the day, you have the Nasty Boys,
yep.
them? Harlem Heat, Starlin,
Booker T,
Steiner Brothers, Road Warriors, and Demolition. All great tag teams.
Wait. Demolition was like an off-brand Road Warriors. They were like great value Road Warriors. Get them out of here.
We'll get to plenty more of y'all. I got an anonymous texter who labels Starcade 85 as the event.
Starcade, you got to walk across the high scaffold. Oh, man.
We'll get to more of this hour or two of the way. Early game, 107.5 the game.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is USC linebacker Mo Kaba, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
Hey, Gamecock fans. Ben Cato here to invite you to shop the Cato's Power Equipment Memorial Day sale, happening May 24th, 25th, and 26th. We'll be saving you the sales tax. That means 8% off your Toro Pushmores, Gravely Zero Turns, or just a chain for your Steel chainsaw. As a special thanks to our active and retired military members, we'll be stacking our everyday 5% military discount. That's up to 13% off your new mower or any parts to keep your old one running like new. May 24th through 26th at Cato's Power Equipment.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get wings the way you want them. Try Twin Peaks wings bone-in breaded, naked, smoked and grilled, or boneless in your favorite sauce or rub.
Hello, I'm Roy Finley.
And I'm Dana Finley, owners of AAA Heating and Air.
South Carolina's crazy weather is hard on your HVAC system. If your unit is living on borrowed time, replace it now with AAA's best deal of the year.
AAA Heating and Air will give you an instant rebate of $1,500 plus 0% financing with no money down and a 15-year parts and labor warranty.
This offer is for a limited time. Get 15 years of worry-free operation. A $1,500 savings with 0% financing with no money down for qualified buyers. Call AAA today at 677-1500.
That's a $1,500 rebate, 0% financing, no money down. Call AAA today at 677-1500.
Like the weather, this offer won't last. Call today and we'll install your new unit tomorrow. Call 677-1500. That's 677-1500.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Paid after not a real customer. Quote based on a healthy, non-smoking 44-year-old male with a 20-year term policy. Rates may vary.
Welcome to Ethos, a new kind of insurance company that believes life insurance should be hassle-free, affordable, and accessible for everyone.
For around $1 a day, I got a 20-year, $250,000 term life insurance policy without a medical exam. All I had to do was answer a few health questions and snap, family protected. It was quick and easy. Ethos is 100% online. I got a quote in seconds, applied in minutes, and got coverage in hours. Just answer a few health questions. No medical exam, no blood tests, no hassle. Look, nobody wants to plan for the unthinkable, but it would be so much worse to not plan at all. So don't put it off. It feels great having the peace of mind knowing that my family is protected.
Ethos, the 100% online hassle-free way to get affordable life insurance. Don't wait. Get your free online quote now at ethoslife.com. That's ethoslife.com.
When your business information is missing or inconsistent across the internet, search engines won't find you, and customers won't either. Help ensure customers see you and not your competitors. Boost your findability. Cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS boost.com.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet, winner of the annual Mark of Excellence Award for best-in-class customer experience. And home to the Silverado, the #1 selling retail full-size pickup in America. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game
with Bill Gunter.
I don't know if we'll get on this path today because this show we tend to just teeter wildly out of control.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
Unfortunately, I might know a little bit about the Kardashians.
Oh.
And just like that, we're away from sports talk.
And Jen Jensen.
37 text messages right now. One person. Sports talk show. Talk sports. Sir, ma'am, whoever. Yeah,
We'll be back.
You don't get the program. You don't get the program. You don't understand what we're doing here.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
The theme of this show. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
107.5 The Game.
We're so into wrestling discussion. And it's fun to wrestling. It's fun to have these. It's fun to have these because it brings back. I don't want to be that. I'm 41. I don't want to be that old person, but it does bring back what I think you label like a simpler time.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah, I was into, just wrestling in 3rd and 4th grade. Whatever. You just go to school and you talk with your buddies about it. As we talked about the newspaper and you just talk about simpler times, I was thinking back to my childhood and just the Saturday and Sunday morning newspaper. And I'm going to go down a serious path again for a second. I actually, the more that you and I have talked about it just in the last 30 minutes, I actually think that that's actually a great way to get your child involved, your child involved in reading. Like, just, you don't need to subscribe to 7 days of the newspaper, but if you get the weekend edition and you just, you're sitting there having breakfast, you say, hey, read me the column. I don't know I forget who is writing now. I think Ben Briner left. I think it's Ben Portnoy now that's writing and covering the South Carolina beat. But if you talk about a great way to get your child involved in it, reading the newspaper is honest. I mean, I think that's how we grew up. Like you said, it wasn't like we were reading. I didn't read the front page. It was scan three sections back, grab the sports page. I mean, back then, that was how I looked at the TV listings.
Now you're talking for sure.
Yeah.
It's clear, concise writing. It's usually going to be on something that you are interested in, and it's worth constructing the world. That's the whole point about reading. It's not that you're watching something. It's not that you're scrolling through something. You have to sort of put a little bit of effort in to learn about what you're talking about. But I was just laughing in the break about how influential wrestling is in my just daily life, because just the other day, and this is 100% without fail, anytime that I have a piece of gum in my mouth, walking down the street, and I want to dispose of the gum, inevitably I spit it in the air and slap it like Mr. Perfect. without fail. You know how you have like the Kobe, where you shoot the jump shot? Well, this is my version of it. And I just spit the gum up, slap it. It's just a little Mr. Perfect thing. I don't know why that stayed with me forever. I'm 41 years old. I can't believe it.
Get to the Love Chevy phone lines here just a second. Read some of these texts first on the Firehouse Subs text line. This is from Anonymous text. He says, what about how wrestlers back in the day would change their identity and we would just go along with it?
No doubt.
Mean Mark Callis became a dead guy named The Undertaker, and we were all good with it.
And it's like, because they would switch sides and it'd be like, oh, he was Mean Mark Callis in NWA or WCW. And now he's like, it's The Undertaker. It's like, hey, I know that guy. I watched both of these.
Yeah.
It was stunning Steve Austin and then morphed into Stone Cold.
Well, and Stephen Hartwig texted me earlier about Chris Foley. Now, Chris Foley, was their brothers, Mick and Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then one of them was Mankind.
Mm-hmm. That was Mick Foley,
okay.
Mankind.
That was right after my,
Due to Love, I believe, might have been another one of his names.
Let me read you this. This will take you down memory road. This again, the anonymous texter. Starcade 85, The Gathering in Greensboro, North Carolina. Main event: Dusty Rhodes versus Ric Flair. Undercard: Magnum TA versus Tully Blanchard. Also, the greatest tag team match ever: Ivan and Nikita Koloff. The Russians versus the Rock and Roll Express.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
The Russian Sickle.
The Russian Sickle.
It was just a clothesline, but we had to call it the Russian Sickle.
But then we took it all to back in the day when you could play Red Rover.
Oh yeah.
And you'd get with your buddy out there. That was and then after we clotheslined about 97 kids, the teacher was like, I don't know if this game is
not
appropriate.
a great game. Yeah. Not a great game.
One kid would get hit with the clothesline and go flying through the air like Charlie Brown after he missed the kick. Yeah, 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. James wants to weigh in this morning. James, how you doing? What's on your mind?
What's going on, guys?
How
you doing?
Good.
Man, I'm a little bit older than you guys, but I Googled this match. I believe it was Ricky Steamboat and Tony Atlas versus Ken Patera and somebody else. Just Google that match, and that is. I remember seeing Tony Atlas at the Exhibition Center in Sumter. I remember seeing Ricky Steamboat, Jay Youngblood at the Exhibition Center when I was young. And you guys are talking about Starrcade 85. I remember the first one, Starrcade 83, Ric Flair versus, what's the guy's? He was a world champion, and then Ric Flair won the world championship away from him. Harley Race. Man, God, I'm telling you, my sons, they're older now, but when they were younger, I would pop up YouTube and let them see those old matches and just tell them that at one time when I was young, I could have sworn that wrestling was real. I mean, I lived and died by Dusty Rhodes' pain when Baby Doll turned on him. So I remember all that stuff, man. But it was a more innocent time. And it was just wonderful. And I still look at YouTube right now. If I have any spare time, I'll pull up those old matches, and it brings me back to 30, 35 years ago, 40 years ago, when I saw those matches, man. And remember my grandfather and I going to the Exhibition Center, so those things are, things that I'll never let go. But I just don't watch wrestling right now. It's just too much of it's a soap opera right now. It was a soap opera.
I was going to say, I think it was back then too. I think it was.
It was somewhat believable,
I don't know if I'd go down that path.
David Dahl.
You guys have a blessing, man. I love your show. I love the enthusiasm you guys bring, man. So great deal.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. There is an account that I follow on YouTube. It's called, and it's on YouTube and it's on TikTok also.
Okay.
It's called No Context Flair. And it's just Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes going off, and the talent that those dudes had on the mic, especially Dusty. He starts talking about those hard working folks down in the coal mines of West Virginia. I feel you. And he's just going on and on, and then the people in the background are like, "Woo, Dusty!" Oh man, wonderful times.
They were, again, simpler. It felt like simpler times, and yeah, I'm with James. I'm going tonight. WWE's at Colonial Life Arena. I believe tickets are still available if you go up to the box office. But yeah, it was very, very, very fun, very interesting. Back in the day. Today, I don't follow it quite. Like I was just telling Preston off air, we went to the Friday night SmackDown in Greenville back in August, and it's such a TV production now. Like they went off at the end. Somebody had come out of nowhere or come back, or I don't even know what the storyline was. I was just there hanging out. Like all of a sudden, my father's calling me, who has really not paid attention to wrestling, but he had been watching on television. He's like, "What just happened?" Like they ended the show and somebody was standing on stage and everybody looked terrified that this person was like, he was like, "Dad, I have less of an idea than you do. You were at least listening to the announcers." So I'm with you. We'll have a good time tonight, and it's kind of fun to go down this little memory lane. Richard again back says, "I remember the first kid in our neighborhood got a trampoline, and that became our wrestling venue for kids and adults."
Bad news. Not great. I'm very unsafe.
803-404-6100. We take you down a little bit of a memory lane again this morning, as we do. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, I'll have Chris Deering join me. Preston's going to head off to Chapin High School, and we will cover the rest of the program with that. But at 8 o'clock, we'll have Chris Deering. We got some stuff to talk about. Steve LaPrade stepping away from Fort Dorchester. Not sure what Chris can share with that. We'll get into some high school playoffs. And at 8:30 this morning, Tom Mason will join me from Partee Golf, and we'll catch up a little bit on the PGA Championship and what's happening up in Rochester, New York. They're set to get going again this morning. Going to be another long day of golf up there for the PGA Championship. South Carolina baseball should be good this afternoon. First pitch scheduled for game 1, 3 o'clock first pitch, 2:45 pregame right here on 107.5 The Game. The rain, according to the meteorologists that are Jen Jensen and myself using our weather apps, is expected to move out of the area here later on this morning, 11 o'clock, noon, sometime in that area.
Yeah.
So
Could be kind of fading away, so that's good.
So both games should be played today. So the first game set for 3 o'clock, 2:45 pregame right here, 107.5 The Game, 3 o'clock first pitch, and then the game 2 about an hour after the finale of game 1. So we'll talk a little more baseball this morning, but certainly kind of cutting up here, going down a little bit of a memory lane as we discuss a little bit of WCW and WW back. What was WWF? 803-404-6100. We come back. We'll get back out to the Love Chevy phone lines. I see some of y'all want to weigh in on this, and we'll do that. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on The Game.
Friday from 9 a.m. to noon in the bonus, the Garnet Trust Hour and Gamecock Central Takeover Hour will broadcast live at Firehouse Subs, 2301 Augusta Road, West Columbia.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
This is Boomer Science with the CBS Sports Minute. The WNBA tips off its 27th season tonight. Brittany Griner makes her long-awaited return in a late-night national telecast. She was wrongfully detained in Russia for 10 months before a negotiated prisoner exchange set her free. Also tonight, the New York Liberty get to show off newly acquired MVPs, Breonna Stewart and Jonquel Jones, who joined Sabrina Ionescu. Good luck to all. I'm Boomer Esiason.
CBS Sports Radio.
Do you want to know what's trending now? You can defer payments of a full NetSuite implementation for 6 months. No payments and no interest for 6 months. This is a big deal. NetSuite by Oracle has never made an offer like this in its 22 years as the leading cloud financial system. 33,000 companies have already upgraded to NetSuite, gaining visibility and control over their financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more. Everything they need to reduce manual processes, boost efficiency, build forecasts, and increase productivity across every department. In fact, almost 90% of finance leaders agree that NetSuite helps them reduce manual data entry time. Whether your business generates millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, take advantage of this special financing offer of no payments or interest for 6 months at netsuite.com/play. That's netsuite.com/play. netsuite.com/play.
Sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Take the stress out of your job search. Visit ExpressPros.com for jobs from a variety of industries. With more than 860 locally owned offices, the Express team is ready to help you find your next job. Go to ExpressPros.com.
Interest rates are going up all over town, but Galliana Kia has rates going down, down, down.
The Hard Times promo of Dusty Rhodes on YouTube.
1,000%. There's some hard times out in Greensboro, North Carolina. Dusty Rhodes knows how you're feeling.
Here with the mortgage guru, Jacob Fowler from First Continental Bank. And if the new year has you building or buying a new home, you need a guru in this market. First Continental Bank is owned and operated here in the Midlands, and Jacob has local decision makers, which means quick and precise processing and underwriting. If you're looking to make a move, give Jacob a call, 803-719-1005, or email him at jfowler@first firsthomeloan.com. 18. Interest rates have stabilized. The local housing market also has stabilized. Now is a good time to buy a house. For First Home Loan, we have products that help homebuyers keep payments down. Also, if you're considering building your future home, please ask about our no-nonsense construction loans. The new year brings change, and if I can help you, please give me a call. 803-719-1005. So to follow up, rates in the housing market are stable, which makes now a good time to buy. As it has something up.
Look at
Let me tell you, you don't. Oh, I've got it. We'll play about 40 seconds.
Tell her she got it.
Do what? She's got a what?
Tell her to start it at like 1 minute. Is she doing this one up here?
She was just gonna put why is it 1 minute, right?
Yeah, she's like 1 minute of fluff. So tell her to start it at 1 minute.
You haven't tasted real Carolina barbecue until you've experienced Little Pigs barbecues. Full service dine-in buffet with barbecue ribs, brisket, chicken, rice, hash, tomato pie, macaroni and cheese, and many more of your favorites. Eat in or take out. Little Pigs barbecue on Alpine Road is open from 11 to 2 on Wednesday, 11 to 8 Thursday through Saturday, and 11 to 3 on Sunday. Little Pigs barbecue on Alpine Road. Little Pigs family looks forward to seeing you soon. Makes all the sports
Started about 1 minute.
I think it's 40 minutes. No respect.
And we say hello to the new number 8 of the New York Jets, because Aaron Rodgers is going back to school. A little trip home Indy with his old Carolina.
Hard times is winner. They tell your computer that took your job in. Is it 1985? They said a computer that took your job.
Podcast, wherever you listen.
1075 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Well, things have definitely picked up this morning, most likely due to the rain out there. So let's get started. I-26 eastbound at exit 91. Just before that, right lane is blocked. I-26 eastbound at Old Sandy Run Road. That would be exit 125. The left lane is blocked. I-26 westbound at exit 91. 2 lanes are blocked. So east and westbound there around mile marker 91. Just a mess. I-77 southbound at Bluff Road, the right lane currently blocked. Other accidents in progress, Highway 321 near Mack Street, Monticello Road at Hayward-Brockington Road, Kittywake Drive at Highway 1, and one more, I-20 eastbound just after Spears Creek Church Road. That rain is supposed to be clearing out maybe by lunchtime or so. 74 will be our high today. Cloudy and 84 tomorrow, and 80 with a few storms on Sunday. Raining right now, and it's 60 at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
with Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
No respect, no honor. There is no honor among thieves in the first place. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. You don't know what hard times are, Daddy. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work and got 4 or 5 kids and can't pay their wages, can't buy their food. Hard times are when the auto workers are out of work and they tell them go home. And hard times are when a man has worked at a job 30 years. 30 years. They give him a watch, kick him in the butt, and say, hey, a computer took your place, Daddy. That's hard time.
Dusty Rhodes, the hard times speech.
I'm not going to lie. I feel like he needed a breathing treatment because every time he inhaled, it was like.
He wasn't the most in shape guy.
Timeless. Timeless.
And wow, what quite the The hairstyle.
Oh,
that,
man.
That was magic.
Tremendous.
Mhm.
Let me tell you something, Dusty. If you think computers was taking your job in 1985,
Yeah.
I got news for you.
Dusty Rose was ahead of his time. Knew what was
Knew.
coming. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone line. Several people want to weigh in. Steve is up first this morning. Steve wants to weigh in. How you doing this morning, Steve? What's on your mind?
I'm fine. How y'all guys doing?
Doing good.
Good. Listen, I got a story to tell you, but I'm going to tell you this first. I work at Lee Transport right behind Williams Bike Stadium. And as I'm speaking of WWE, all the 18-wheeler track, I'm watching them right now. All of them are headed out to the Clone Life Arena. I'm watching them load up the trucks right now as I speak.
All right.
And I'll tell you a trivia story. I'm 58 years old, so I go way back in the 80s. Now, this is a true story, and I hope someone of my age is listening. They can verify this. Every Tuesday night, NWA would come to the Township Auditorium. And every Tuesday night, me and my buddies, like 15, 16 years old, we would leave out the house, and our mom and dad let us go because they knew we wanted to see the wrestlers. There was a store called the Star Market on North Main, right by Earlwood Park. And every Tuesday night, those wrestlers would come down there after they fought. Walt McDaniel and Ric Flair beat the hell out of each other, but then in the back of that store drinking Budweiser. This is a true story now. This is a lot. And then Black Jack Mulligan come in there. I mean, these guys are huge. We was little kids, and we were just excited to be around them. And I don't know the connection the owner Star Market had with that WNBA, but every Tuesday night, they were there every Tuesday night. And people were always lining around the building waiting for them, getting autographs. And Ric Flair was just to sight us, he was, whoa! I mean, we've seen it live. We were still like 15, 16 years old. And a trivia, of course, Rufus R. Jones is from Dillard, South Carolina. If you've ever heard of him, they call him Rufus R. Fake Train Jones, and he would get down on his feet and run like an offensive lineman and just knock you down. And he keep on doing it. And one particular match, he brought his nephew in. And his name was Burhead Jones. Now sometimes the wrestlers slip up because that guy got paralyzed for real.
Ooh, yeah.
And that really happened. And I think it was Black Jack Mulligan. And those guys, when they realized that they accidentally hurt him, all the wrestlers came to the ring, and they were actually crying. I mean, some of my aides can call to verify this, but that's just a little story I just thought about. And it's kind of exciting watching these guys load up all this equipment out here and going to the Clone Life Arena.
I'll tell you what.
But I think I'm taking my call.
No problem.
Appreciate you. I tell you what, at the Township at 8:15
bell time.
I don't think 8:15 bell time. I don't think there was a bunch of 18-wheelers loading in equipment. I think it was just a couple dudes showing up.
Yeah, those rings were not the most sturdy. That he always had. Those rings had that kind of. I don't know how to describe that sound that it would make when it would hit.
A little bit of give.
803-404-6100. Back out to the Love Chevy phone lines we go. Jack wants to weigh in this morning. Jack, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Hey, fellas, how y'all doing?
Doing good.
Man, y'all talking about the great topic. You got to excuse me. I'm just getting off from work, about half sleep, though, but just made it in. And listen to the fellas talking about wrestling, man. I remember those days just as good, man, back in the day. I just want to ask either one of you all, see if you may know this answer or not. I can't give the exact year, but I would say when I was between the age of 10 and 13 years old, I'm 55 now. So y'all do that kind of math. Could you tell me how much the tickets was if you was up under the age of 13?
I'd imagine it was $5.
What you say, Jack?
$3. Yeah, I get $5 seems like a good guess.
Hey, you was pretty close. They was $2.
$2.
Yep. $2. It cost you 10 cents to catch the city bus from where we lived at to be able to go to the wrestling matches on Tuesday night. I mean, it would be a bus load of us guys, just like the gentleman would say. Everybody, I came up around the Eau Claire, I lived in the Latimer Manor at that time. And we used to catch the bus from North Main or either off Colonial Drive to downtown to go to, it used to be a bunch of us. Now, here I'm a little fella now, and my whole family are little. You know, they call us little people. So we're just that little. But when I was 15 years old, I get to tell the story now. I was still getting in for $2. I'm just telling you this. I mean, but yeah, all these guys, man. I had the opportunity. I had opportunity to really get to go to the township and have met Ricky Steamboat, Wahoo McDaniel, the Briscoe brothers. You know, I mean, the list can go on and on. And I have 3 young boys right now, man. And you talking about the wrestling. Now, these guys are crazy about wrestling. I didn't even know the wrestling was going on tonight. So I know I may be in a little trouble, but they've been good boys. So I may have to tip them out tonight and see if I can get the wife, talk her into. Oh, by the way, I met my wife at the Township Auditorium. Okay. So this year right here, August will be 27 years that I met her, but it wasn't at the wrestling, but her mother, I mean, she was a diehard wrestler. She can tell you everybody that wrestled from her time up until now, man. That's how she was. But God called her home, you know, a year ago. So, but hey, that was just my story. I wanted to get in, fellas, on this thing because it's really fun, man. Y'all really have done a great job today. I'm telling you.
Thank you for the phone call, man. Yeah, get home and get some rest and maybe get those boys out there to WWE tonight. Thank you for the phone call, Jack. 803-404-6100. Let's get one more in here real quick. Let's get out to Mitch. Mitch, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
I'm doing good. You talking about old tag teams from WCW?
Oh yeah.
Public Enemy in American Males.
Okay, you went deep cuts right there. Those are deep cuts. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
2 solid guys. You know, you think about those tag teams. You had all of those guys in the like I said, the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, because Road Warriors probably came.
They came from WCW.
They came from WCW.
And they went to, like I said, they had Demolition, which was a fake crew. But before I get out of here, I was just thinking about, as I said, it's not only just Mr. Perfect spitting the gum up in the air. It is every time when I put my daughter to sleep, the way I know she's asleep is I definitely put her arm up and see if it falls. And if it falls 3 times, then I know she's out for sure.
Oh, how funny!
So that I don't. If it falls 3 times,
it's because it's got to fall 3 times.
Has it been on the 3rd where she holds it?
That's what I'm waiting. That's what I'm waiting.
Shakes it back up.
That's what I'm waiting on.
It's the teddy bears involved.
She hasn't done that yet, but I'm waiting on that. And she's like, "I'm about to sleep," and she pops up. So
she's gonna wake up one morning and be like, "Man, my shoulder."
yeah.
What's going on?
Got to check the arm to make sure that she's asleep. So yeah, man, this stuff is I don't have much floating around my brain except rap lyrics and wrestling, I guess. So this is anything. Parents, just beware. Whatever your children are consuming from about 8 to 13 is going to be with them forever.
Sticks with them. With them. Off to Chapin
Elementary, man. We'll be out there in a little while.
Go have a
good time. We're not gonna be like Dustin Rose and Wahoo McDaniel, but the Just a Chicken show's on the way.
Look forward to seeing you back on Monday. Have fun today. We'll be back. Chris Deering due up at 8 o'clock. Tom Mason from Partee to talk a little golf at 8:30. We got a lot to get to this morning. Keep the phone calls coming. We'll keep weighing in on this. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
We appreciate you listening to 107.5 The Game. And because you are a loyal listener, you might have noticed the last few weeks that the game hasn't sounded as strong coming through your speakers. Or you all of a sudden can't pick up the station in certain places around the Midlands. Well, a few weeks ago, our main transmitter was damaged during a storm. It'll still be a few more weeks until we get the parts to have it fixed. So if you're having issues listening to 107.5 The Game, we encourage you to go to iTunes or the Google Play Store and download our app. In a couple of clicks, you'll be hearing the game loud and clear. Thanks again for your patience and for listening to 107.5 The Game.
Back again with Integrated Media. Time to get your outdoors ready for spring and summer. We've been talking about the rain. Doesn't matter, the rain wouldn't deter you because you would have your Sonos outdoor speakers and your Samsung Terrace TVs waterproofed. Or you want to pull up those old YouTube clips and watch a little Dusty Rhodes on your TV as you're watching outside, you can get Wi-Fi that works indoors and outdoors. You can control all your devices from just one remote. From home theater setup to adjusting your thermostat or monitoring your security system from your cell phone. Integrated Media is the company to call. So check out Nathan and Michael at 803-948-8327, 803-948-8327, or get them online at integratedmediainc.com. That's online at integratedmediainc.com.
There's no better place to catch a game on a fall Saturday than at Williams-Brice Stadium. Visit thegamecockclub.com today to secure your tickets. Whatever the game, whoever you're with, just catch a game.
Lexington Medical Center is hosting an all-star hiring event. If you want to join their team, come see them at Sagra Park on Friday, May 19th. They're offering on-site interviews and special game day sign-on bonuses. Schedule an appointment at lexmed.com/jobs.
Not even the most well-kept homes are immune to termites. So call Dodson Pest Control. With over 75 years of experience, they will make sure your home is looking good inside and outside your walls. Visit DodsonBROS.com to find an office near you. Dodson, the pest professionals you trust.
Trust, we will trust. New Silverados are on the ground now, and more are on the way to Herndon Chevrolet. We're taking up to $15,000 off to get you in your new truck. Stop by your hometown Chevy dealer and shop all your favorite models at prices you'll love. Find new roads at Herndon Chevrolet or visit us online at herndonchevy.com today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile. Smile.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service. Pioneer Tree Service has more than 4 decades of helping homeowners maintain and manage trees on their property. Their skilled crew offers customized solutions that match your needs and budget. Tree trimming and tree removal can be dangerous. You need to trust the people that are doing the job. Before attempting to remove limbs, call Pioneer Tree Service for a free quote. They remove limbs safely and make sure that future growth is directed away from potential trouble areas such as roof lines and driveways. Cutting down trees takes more than a chainsaw. Even branches can weigh thousands of pounds, and their removal must be handled with care. Pioneer Tree Service offers a full complement of state-of-the-art heavy equipment, from track hose to bucket trucks to safely remove trees and stumps from your property. And no matter where you live, the Gantt girls can get there. And I want you to call them at 803-794-8253.
Hi, my husband and I own a small business in Columbia, and we ended up needing some help with some tax problems that we had and needed to get resolved. We initially owed about $300,000, and John Ecton and his law firm ended up getting us an offer in compromise, which dramatically reduced the amount owed. I would personally recommend the Ecton law firm. They did an excellent job for us, and if this is a concern that you're facing, they're definitely the people you should call.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
And get ready, the list continues. Accidents out there, so be careful if you would with this rain. Make sure your headlights are on if your wipers are on. Monticello Road at Hayward, Brockington Road in the cleanup stages. Also Kitty Wake at Highway 1. Earlier accident, I-77 southbound at Bluff Road has been cleared, so that should be getting back to normal in that area. I-20 eastbound at Spears Creek Church Road. Highway 6 at I-20.
Y'all can kind of see they kind of actually got it set up for the cameras on the live stream now. We're going to actually make them work. So we're getting there. Preston will be on the live stream at some point because use on there, but at least we got those cameras set up. So I'm sitting here kind of watching it. And says there's a fourth camera, but I don't see a fourth camera.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
$7:35 on a Friday morning. I fixed it. Doesn't take much to fix the computer clock. I'm smart enough to know how to do that one, Jen. So we're
I'm
back.
impressed.
Yeah, we're on the correct time now. 7:35 here on a Friday, a rainy Friday morning. Again, weather expected to clear up here later today around lunchtime, around noon. South Carolina baseball game 1 first pitch 3:00 this afternoon at Founders Park. If you have your tickets for Friday's ball game, you will be able to use those, obviously, for the 3:00 game. Game 2 scheduled about an hour after the conclusion of game 1, and it is fully expected. Again, I know it looks dreary out there. If you're driving to work, be careful. I know coming in from Lexington this morning at about 5:30 was pretty wet, pretty nasty, just to put it point blank there, Jen. I think both of us traveling from about the same area. It was
Standing water.
Yeah, it was. So be careful out there as your morning commute is going along. I know Jen said that we've got a few accidents taking place. But try and be careful, get to work, and get ready to enjoy a fun weekend, which should be an enjoyable weekend. Some Gamecock baseball taking place, NHL and NBA playoffs, the PGA Championship, and tonight over at Colonial Life Arena, you've got a little WWE action. Friday Night SmackDown coming to town, and we've gotten into that discussion this morning as we take trips, lots of trips, down memory lane with many of you. And back out to the Love Chevy phone lines we go. Ray wants to weigh in this morning. Ray, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Hey, doing good, everybody. But yeah, man, going back down memory lanes of my childhood. Back in the mid '70s, my grandparents lived in Charlotte, right there off Sharon Road, and Charlotte was the mecca of the NWA. And when I mean the NWA, I'm not talking about those great rappers, legendary rappers out of Compton, which we could do a show alone on them. But I'll tell you, so Johnny Valentine was my grandparents' neighbor. And I'd see him out there working in his garden, big man. And he was actually on that plane that crashed. They had Ric Flair and Mr. Wrestling number 2 and all them back in like '74. Well, anyway, so I'm out there, my grandparents, bored out of my head, thinking, what can I do? So it's just myself. So I'm out in the front yard throwing football around, like 10 or 11. Well, this cab pulls up in Johnny Valentine's driveway, and, kind of being a kid, not necessarily from the city, accustomed to seeing cabs coming to people's houses. So anyway, the cab parks, and this guy with his flowing long blonde hair gets out, he's got that, time period, buckskin leather jacket, and he takes the jacket off. I was like, oh my God, that's Ric Flair. Even then I already knew who he was because I started watching wrestling. And he takes that jacket off and lays it on that cab, and he tells the cab, he says, I'll be out. He says, I'll be out in a little bit. Flair must have been in there 3 hours. and he came out, and I couldn't imagine what that meter was on that cab. But, I'll tell you, that was just an iconic time for wrestling, especially the NWA, because what the NWA had, it had people that were just very charismatic, like the Dusty Rhodes, of course, Ric Flair, all those guys. And to tell you, Ric Flair, he was an absolute showstopper. And if in the dictionary, if they had a picture of somebody that was charismatic, I think the Nature Boys picture should be there. But anyhow, man, what a great era that was. But thanks a lot, guys.
Appreciate the phone call, Ray. Yeah, again, it's different. Of course, it's different because I think we're all a little older and whatnot. But certainly, that's why there's such good memories. You had really such good, is it fair to call them characters? It's good personalities that created fond memories of both the good guys and the bad guys. And it's easy and in this town to do. South Carolina, Columbia has such a strong wrestling history. We've talked about the township this morning, even back to the old Frank McGuire Arena. I was there for a couple wrestling matches growing up. So it's always easy for us to talk about that and just smile and go down a little memory lane, as several of you remembering a lot of great times over at the Township Auditorium as the big names would come rolling in. 803-404 6,100 how you can weigh and give you some updates from last night. Again, the Denver Nuggets knocking off the Los Angeles Lakers last night. Jamal Murray with another massive fourth quarter there, and Denver rolls 108-103. They take a 2-0 lead over the Los Angeles Lakers. Hockey last night, really fun game, really entertaining game. I tried to make it. I fought hard. The Panthers and the Hurricanes. I'll tell you this, if you've never watched playoff hockey, and I'll beat the drum for playoff hockey, if you've never watched it, this might be the series to really get into. Last night, 4 overtimes, so you needed a little bit of a nap prior to the start of the game, but 4 overtimes. The Florida Panthers defeat the Carolina Hurricanes 3-2. It was up in Raleigh last night. Atmosphere was absolutely rocking, was a fantastic game. And again, I didn't make it to the 4th overtime, but should be a really fun series. And if you want to just take a few minutes this coming weekend to check that out, I would definitely advise taking in a little bit of playoff hockey as it pertains to the Panthers and the Hurricanes. Again, last night, South Carolina's game obviously rained out at Founders Park. First pitch set again today for 3 o'clock. We'll have the pregame right here on 107.5 The Game at 2:45. And then again, first pitch 3 o'clock if you want to get over there. Last night, though, baseball across the SEC getting going. LSU knocking off Georgia 8-5 in 12 innings. Florida hammering Kentucky 10-3. Alabama taking down Mississippi. Arkansas rolling over Vanderbilt. The game was on the SEC network. Number 2, Arkansas, 8-2 victory on the road at Vanderbilt. Again, the Gamecocks and Tennessee were postponed. Mississippi State wins at home over Texas A&M 10-8. And then also last night, Missouri and Auburn was postponed. So a little bit of an update there from SEC baseball. As the final weekend of the regular season is underway. Gamecocks and Volunteers today from Founders Park, 3 o'clock. Eli Jones will get the ball for the Gamecocks. We'll talk a little bit about that if you want to weigh in. If you got more wrestling memories, feel free to send those in, and we'll get into a few other things as we roll along. You're listening to Bill Gunner. She's Jen Jensen. Preston Thorne off to help the kids read at Chapin Elementary School. Coming up in about 10 minutes, in about 20 minutes, it'll be Chris Deering. A lot of high school highlights to get to as well. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on The Game.
Friday from 9 a.m. to noon in the bonus, the Garnet Trust Hour and Gamecock Central Takeover Hour will broadcast live at Firehouse Subs, 2301 Augusta Road, West Columbia.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Actually, kind of nice this morning. Woke up, I think the temperature was about 58 degrees, a little rainy, but that meant that the air conditioner didn't need quite the workout it's going to get here in the next few months. And let me tell you, if your heating and air unit's been a little on the fritz, if you've had a few issues lately and you're a little concerned about how it's going to handle the famously hot Columbia summer, it's time to call AAA Heating and Air. Speak to the comfort advisors there today. See just how much money you could save. Right now with the Inflation Reduction Act, you could get $3,800 in tax credits. To learn more about it, call 803-677-1500. Again, that's 803-677-1500. Contact the comfort experts over at AAA Heating and Air and learn how the Inflation Reduction Act can help save you money. Then you can speak with them about getting a brand new unit. And AAA Heating and Air has the best deal in town. Right now, they'll offer you a $1,500 rebate to buy back your old unit. So right there, $3,800 in tax credits, $1,500 in a rebate. That's $5,300 you could save. So call AAA Heating and Air today to learn more. 803-677-1500. Along with all that, qualified buyers can get 0% financing. Everybody will find a way to get financing. And then at the end of the day, AAA Heating and Air offers you a 15-year parts and labor warranty to make sure that heating and air unit you purchased is running properly and doesn't have any hiccups. 803-677-1500. That's how you can get in touch with AAA Heating and Air today. Call them. Tell them Bill Gunner told you to call them on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by KFC. Everybody's going to want KFC's new Kentucky Fried Chicken Nuggets. Each hand-breaded nugget is made with 100% white meat and their famous original recipe. You've never had nuggets like these. That's finger-licking good.
Life matters. Today is my mom's birthday. She's in heaven now, but the day is still one of great significance to me. I remember her smile, her voice, her hugs. I remember her unconditional love, her defense of me before critics, especially neighbors and unfair Little League umpires. I remember her prayers, which carried softly through the house long after everyone else was asleep, or at least she thought we were. I remember her acceptance of my new bride, her adoration of her grandchildren, and her unselfish service to our community and church. She taught me how to pray and how to worship God. In fact, the thing I remember most about my mother is her faith. I guess that's what Jesus meant when he said, "The person who does the will of God lives forever." He was speaking of heaven, yet I also believe that a person of faith lives on in the mind of family and friends. Their influence is carried from generation to generation. What are you leaving behind? This is Pastor Stephen Chitty. Remember, life matters, and so do you.
Go to clcolumbia.com for in-person and live streaming service times.
There are many reasons people contact us.
We're moving across country.
We've decided to scale down and store some furniture for the time being.
My gal and I broke up, so I need to get out soon.
While the reasons may vary, the expectations are the same: a smooth transition.
Sosa Delivery and Movers, trusted movers who care. The move done on time and on budget. Call today, 803-553-1237. Online at sosamovessc.com.
It's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Give my friends at Zerust Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning a call. Right now, mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. Book online at ZerustColumbia.com.
Gotta go to Galliana.
Interest rates are going up all over town, but Galliana Chrysler Jeep has rates going down, down, down. Now you can finance new Jeeps at 0% APR at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. Or you can buy now and pay later with no payments all summer long. And exclusive of that offer, new Jeeps, savings up to 22% off. Yes, 22% off a new Jeep. Lease a new Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, or Chrysler.
All right. Oh, man.
It's Jeep season at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. I-126 to Seward in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or GallianaSC.com.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply. WISTV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Truly a mess out on the highways right now, so do be careful. Allow a little extra time if you would, so that you can get to your destination safely. I-26 eastbound and westbound at exit 91 both have issues. Westbound, 2 lanes are blocked. Eastbound, we have the right lane that is currently blocked. Also, I-26 eastbound, the accident has been reported to be cleared around exit 129, but it had been down to 1 lane, things still moving slowly. So some people are getting off at exit 125 Sandy Run Road, but it does appear that it is cleared. It's just a big slowdown right now. So make alternate plans maybe for the next little bit. Highway 6 at I-20 an accident, also I-20 eastbound after exit 82. Kittiwake at Augusta Highway still working that earlier accident, as well as Monticello Road and Hayward Brockington Road. They say the rain is to be clearing out, maybe late morning, lunchtime. 74 will be our high today, cloudy and 84 tomorrow. Few storms for Sunday. 80 will be our high, but we do have that rain right now, and it's making a mess of things. Hey, if your headlights are on, your wipers should be on as well. It's 59 right now.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
with Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
7:49 on a rainy Friday morning. Want to remind you, go to 1075 The Game, click on our Sweet Deals tab, and check out our craft beer passport. 38 craft beers for just $99. It's a $285 value for only $99. Go to 1075 The Game. Again, there's a tab that says Sweet Deals. You can click on that for more information. Check out the craft beer passport, something that might be a little enjoyable to use this weekend as you get out and about. And you can get 38 craft beers, 19 different locations for just $99. That's a $285 value for just $99. So again, go to 1075 The Game, click on the Sweet Deals tab at the top. You can purchase yourself a 1075 The Game craft beer passport, something that, again, might come in handy this weekend as you want to check out all the great events. Back out to the Love Chevy phone lines we go. JD wants to weigh in this morning. JD, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Good morning. Hey, I just want to share a little couple of stories with you. I was a young man in Macon, Georgia, growing up, and was working at the Coliseum. Actually, we were in a union, and worked many wrestling events. And I remember you talking about the sound that was made from the wrestling ring. We set up that wrestling ring, which was no more than a few sheets of plywood, sitting on some cross beams, and just a little, about a half-inch thick mat. And the ring ropes were Georgia power cable run through a garden hose. And we'd string those up, and then up underneath the ring was a sound system. So that's where you got all your sound from when they hit that plywood, and it'd be booming. You know, it'd come from the little sound system up under the ring. And I remember, they would give us a script, and we would go and we'd go by the script, and we'd at certain times we'd walk into the dressing room and remind Abdullah the Butcher or Mr. Wrestling number 2 or whomever it should be, Wahoo McDaniel, and let them know that they're supposed to go interfere with the match. And they were usually inside the dressing room there at the Coliseum, reading a newspaper, drinking beer, smoking cigars, playing cards. You might find them doing anything, and all of them were together, and all of our doorways were 6'9". They were standard. And Andre the Giant was not 7'4", although he did barely make it out of the doorway. But they embellished those statistics or height, weights, and things time to time to make them a little more exciting. And then later, and I'll close with this, but later I was in my 20s. I was bouncing part time at this bar in Atlanta all night. All night bar. What do you call it? After hours bar. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the wrestlers would pile in after their wrestling match, and they were road warriors, and they'd take up a 4-top, sitting there, 2 of them, and road warriors being there. Tommy Rich. Let's see who else. The Freebirds. And especially Wahoo McDaniel. And I tell this story, I wouldn't say I threw Wahoo McDaniel out of the club, but I would certainly walk with him and escort him out of the club nicely. And when he would have just a little too much to drink. But what a nice guy, though, and all of them were very, gracious and nice people down deep. But I tell you what, they were tougher than woodpecker lips. People could say that was fake all they want. And they knew the outcome. They might know the outcome of the matches, but those guys were tough, and that was tough living, and it still is. And the things that they ask these wrestlers to do, especially nowadays with all this acrobatics and gymnastics and things going on. But that was a great day back in the day, and that was probably in the mid to late 70s and early 80s. But just want to share that. And that club was in Atlanta. And but anyway, but you guys do a great job. We enjoy listening to your show, and thank you very much. God bless you.
Appreciate the phone call. That was a lot of good information there, JD. It's during that Wahoo McDaniel was a little before my time in terms of getting into wrestling, so I was having to look up kind of the backstory of Chief Wahoo McDaniel. Didn't realize played for Oklahoma under Bud Wilkinson. actually still, according to this, holds the record at Oklahoma for the longest punt at 91 yards. Was then playing professional football in 1960 for the Houston Oilers, and then played for the Broncos, as well as becoming a linebacker for the New York Jets in 1964. So always pretty cool to look at the backstories of some of these guys. Obviously, we had a family connection growing up to Del Wilkes, the Patriot, and really cool to kind of see the backstory. So I was actually going back and looking as JD was talking there at the backstory on Chief Wahoo McDaniel there and his rise to the top. 803-404-6100. Got time for just one more story. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Joe wants to weigh in. Joe, how you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning, fellas. How are y'all doing?
Doing good.
Hey, so when I was just a young kid, I was like 12, 13 maybe. We were at Ric Flair's house. My stepdad used to work for Holiday Health and Fitness Spas, and they had a connection with Ric Flair and the guys. They would come and work out there, and he needed his hot tub changed out. It was an in-ground hot tub. So we pulled the vinyl shell out of the ground, and we were putting in like a hard plaster tub. And Arn Anderson and Rick were partying it up and drinking or whatever, and they decided there was a pond there, and they wanted to go fishing. So they drug that hot tub down to the water, pushed it out into the water, and then got in there and were paddling around with their arms. And they got into an argument and started wrestling and fighting with each other inside the hot tub, inside the pond, until the hot tub sank. And then they just swam out and went back in the house. And then later that afternoon, me and my stepdad had to figure out how to get the hot tub out of the pond.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was an awesome moment for a 13-year-old.
Good story. Thank you for that, Joe. That's good stuff. Yeah, I can imagine wrestling parties are somewhat similar to the party that you saw in what's the now I'm blanking on the football movie with Jamie Foxx. That has just completely slipped my mind. But I would imagine that's the one where Lawrence Taylor in the movie is playing the linebacker and saws, I believe, a Hummer in half there. But
Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday. Thank you. Good grief. I can't believe I blanked on that right is, but I was thinking. But 803-404-6100. We'll continue with this. Chris Deering coming up here in the next hour. We got a lot of high school highlights. So quite the jump we're going to make from wrestling stories to high school highlights. We're going to do it. We're going to make that jump here on a Friday morning. And then Tom Mason, PGA Championship getting back underway up at Oak Hill. We'll get you an update on that and talk with Tom Mason. Some live golfers, Bryson DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson making noise yesterday. We'll talk about it. Hour 3 on the way.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock quarterback Spencer Rattler, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
Are you looking for a summer camp for your 5 to 14-year-old? Do you want them to experience the lifetime sports of golf, tennis, and swimming? Then the Wide World of Sports Summer Camp at the Windermere Club is just the camp for you. We offer 7 weekly Monday through Friday sessions to choose from beginning June 5th. The camp offers half-day camps, which run from 9 to noon, half-day with lunch and pool, which runs 9 to 2 p.m., and full-day 9 to 4 p.m. is also available. No rainouts and no equipment necessary. We supply rackets, golf clubs, curriculum, and first-class instruction. All campers get T-shirts, and they hit for prizes every Friday. The Wide World of Sports Summer Camp at the Windermere Club is a once-in-a-lifetime experience you can revisit year after year. For more information and to register, please visit sports4.life. That's sports, the number 4.life.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's a $7,500 sign-on bonus and increased pay for most security positions. Start a rewarding new career with great benefits today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply now or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
You can pick out every detail of your remodel.
That one. Or that one?
That one. No, wait, that one. But you never really know what it will look like until...
Well...
not what I imagined.
CHW Cabinetry understands not being able to visualize what your new space will look like can be stressful, but our photorealistic renderings leave nothing to the imagination, and our job site book makes sure everyone's on the same page. Literally, learn more at chwcabinetry.com. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation.
Gamecock baseball is back in full swing, and Gamecock Traditions has everything you need to look sharp at the ballpark. Under Armour on-the-field hats are now in store and online, as well as our vintage shirts in both garnet and black. New Under Armour baseball tees, golf shirts, and Richardson hats have arrived, as well as autographable baseballs, too. Stop by Gamecock Traditions on your way to or from the game, or shop online at GamecockTraditions.com, 5134 Sunset Boulevard in Lexington, or at Sand Hills Mall by the Fountain. Gamecock Traditions, your baseball gear headquarters.
Owners Gene and Debbie Royer of All American Heating and Air.
I think that's the biggest mistake ever of putting a technician on commission. My technician has no reason to overcharge. We don't do that.
You can trust All American.
When your heating and air breaks down, it's an emergency to you. It's an emergency to us also.
All American's technicians are NATE certified.
Let our family help your family. We're All American.
All American Heating and Air.
AllAmericanHeatingandAir.com.
Join the celebration at Carowinds with Aeronautica Landing, an all-new themed area with 5 new rides set for high-flying adventure this summer. Then stay into the night as Carowinds celebrates 50 years of Carolina fun with a party like no other, including new food and drink, unforgettable live entertainment, and a nighttime firework and drone show. Visit Carowinds.com for more information. Right now, get tickets as low as $39.99 at Carowinds.com with our early dates deal. Carowinds, for the fun of it.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet, celebrating the incomparable Silverado. For the first time in history, the #1 selling retail full-size pickup in America. Find yours at South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game.
With Bill Gunter and Jen Jensen.
I appreciate the fact that Preston won the race because he had Logano, so he had the win. And we didn't open the show with, I'm a champion. I am so good. I'm a pro.
You got to work on that.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
Listen, it's a long season, Bill. It's a quiet confidence.
Did he take the lead?
He did.
Proud of you, man. I feel like I've brought you into the show.
And no offense, but it also just goes to show you don't have to know NASCAR to pick a winner.
Jen's so angry. Like, you're going to see, she loves you right now, but that's going to change.
On your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
.802 on a Friday morning, a little bit rainy. All right, actually a lot rainy. Gonna get more into this meteorologist stuff because, man, it has rained like this, it feels like, for 24 straight hours. But good news, it's expected to slide on out of here roughly about lunchtime. And when that happens, you should have a very nice day in front of you. Should warm up a little bit. And South Carolina will be able to play a doubleheader today, starting at 3 o'clock. First pitch again, 3 o'clock. You can hear the pregame right here on 107.5 The Game at 2:45. Game number two will be about an hour after the end of game number 1. So baseball will take place today. This weekend, we roll along as we continue the high school playoff season. Just, again, for my kids, I know it's not the same for everybody. My kids aren't in high school, but 2 weeks from today is the final day of school for them. June the 2nd, I believe, is what is 2 weeks away.
It's hard to believe that June is so close, but it's also hard to believe it's 9 days from the Indy 500.
Yeah, you were
That's
saying.
how I mark my calendar.
Real quick, you were saying today is Fast Friday and not because both Preston and I, Jen said this earlier in the show. Jen goes, "Hey, you guys know what day it is?" And we were like, Friday. And she's like, "Well, it's Fast Friday." And Preston's response actually was, "Oh, today is the release of the latest, the 10th Fast or 11th. I don't know,
Like
the
the Fast
30s.
and Furious
yeah,
series,
those
which is
the
I
last-
enjoy. Yep.
But anyway, you were like, "No, today is racing up at Indy."
Yeah. Yep. It's more practice. It's really the last day of practice before qualifying on Saturday and Sunday. So, yep.
There you go.
Kind of fun.
All right, a man who knows all about the Fast and Furious movie. What is it? It's not. I don't even know what it. Just series.
It's a series. Yeah.
Chris Deering, when you make 10 movies out of one central theme, what does it become?
I'm gonna call that a franchise.
Is it?
I mean, I don't know. That's a lot of damn movies, though. Excuse my language, but that's a lot of movies.
Yes, that That and Taken. I never thought they would get 3 movies out of Of course, I never thought they would get 4 movies out of a puppy going down in the opening sequence of John Wick, but they got 4 out of that one. They got 3 out of the fact that Liam Neeson couldn't keep his daughter and his wife safe despite having a special set of skills, and 10 out of the fact that Paul Walker was trying to set up Vin Diesel in the original one. Amazing how far we've come. Just as it's amazing that, as we just pointed out, how far we've come with the high school season. Just about 2 weeks left, really, and then it's time to really start getting ready for high school football. But we got some more playoffs this coming weekend.
Yeah, it's wrapping up pretty quickly. One thing we really haven't talked about much on this program all season is track and field championships are this weekend. Class A was supposed to be yesterday, but the weather knocked that out and postponed it till Monday. But starting this afternoon and all day tomorrow, you will have track and field at 2 different locations here in Columbia, at Spring Valley and at Lower Richland High School. So any track fans out there, you can get your fill at those 2 locations this weekend. And then tomorrow afternoon, we move into the state championship series for baseball, and next week is softball, and then it's all over. And then like I said, we have the summertime and 7-on-7, which I totally despise. I wish Preston was here to talk about that. Just totally despise the 7-on-7 aspect of everything, but it's where we are in high school athletics right now. But then when August rolls around, let's put the pads back on and play football for real. So it's wrapped up pretty quick, and looking forward to these next, week, or really only one more week left in the season. Everything will be finished by next Saturday. So looking forward to this next week and seeing a lot of great action over the next 7 or 8 days.
Yeah, it's again when you say 7 or 8 days, again, yeah, that takes us right up to just what we were just talking about, Memorial Day weekend, and then I think for a lot of schools, the end of the academic season. Let's get into. There's a lot of news to get to here this morning, and I also want to just kind of look at some high school football stuff. So we're going to try and do about 2 segments here, but let's kind of get back into some baseball. I know River Bluff had a big win. Was it Wednesday night? Thomas Powell with 2 monster home runs, the soon-to-be Gamecock. Tell us a little bit about baseball, though, and where we're at with playoffs in this.
So 5A, we got 2 local teams playing for the state championship. Like you mentioned, River Bluff, they were hosting the lower state championship game on Wednesday against Somerville. They lost the first game 11-7, but it was able to come back to win the second game. Like you mentioned, Thomas Powell, he had a home run and a 2-run triple, I think is what it was. So no, you're right. You're wrong. You're right, and I'm wrong. He did have 2 home runs. He had a 2-run homer and a solo home run. And then Bo Hollins also had an RBI triple, and they were able to knock off Somerville 4-3 in the second game. Thomas Powell started that game on the mound, but they really got a key outing from Andrew Vaughn out of the bullpen in that one, and they held a really good hitting Somerville team to 3 runs in that second game. And big for River Bluff, big for Coach Mark Bonnet to win that lower state. I mentioned all season long, I thought that lower state was really loaded, and they came through that side of the bracket to make their 3rd state championship game, the championship series appearance. They've yet to win a state championship in baseball at River Bluff. They've lost twice. I think both times they lost to Dorman, if I'm not mistaken. So another chance for that squad to win a state championship. And then they play Blythewood, maybe a team that went under the radar all season long. I'll be honest. Last year, Blythewood went into the playoffs as the number 1 ranked team in the state. Everybody thought it was their year, and they lost out early on in the playoffs and didn't get a chance to play for a state championship. But they lost their coach, Banks Faulkner. He went to Newberry College to be an assistant coach. And so not a lot of people, I don't think, were talking about Blythewood early in the season, but Dolan Crowley has done a great job with that program. They beat Bowling Springs 8-6 on Wednesday to win the upper state part of the bracket. They were down 6-2 in the 5th inning and just came back and won that game. They got key hits from Harrison Collins, Luke Duncan, John Rollins, and those kids came back and won that game 8-6. So it should be a really exciting championship series in 5A. Last time I remember 2 Columbia area teams making it in the largest classification. It was Blythewood and Lexington, and I'm thinking it was 2013. My year could be off. I could be off a year or two, but I think it was 2013. And that was probably, they went to game 3 in that series. So it's best 2 out of 3 for the state championship. They went to game 3 and played that game at Carolina Stadium. And that, without question, was the best high school baseball atmosphere I've ever been in. They had 6,000 people in that park. I'm not saying election or Blythewood and River Bluff, if they're going to game 3, whatever they do, I hope they get to play at a venue like Carolina Stadium or Segra Park. I think the Fireflies are home next week, so I don't think that's an option. So I hope they get to play. If they play a game 3, play at a venue like Carolina Stadium. And again, that 2013 when Blythewood and Lexington filled that place up, it was awesome to be a part of that. So looking forward to that series. I expect big crowds. It starts tomorrow at River Bluff, 2:00 in the afternoon. I expect big crowds both places. Game 2 is scheduled for Tuesday night at Blythewood, and then if Game 3 happens, it will be next Saturday. And like I say, it's to be determined where that will be. So looking forward to that. I mean, that's the big series here in the Midlands with 2 local teams playing, but we still got local teams in 3A and 2A alive as well. You look at 3A bracket, Brooklyn Casey. They've yet to play the lower state championship game. They've been rained out 2 days in a row. So they're going to try again today. They have to go down to Hanahan. They would have to win twice. But with the 2 rainouts, I mean, everybody's pitching everybody's available at this point. So that the rainouts probably helped Brooklyn Casey a little bit more than it helped Hanahan. Their pitching was probably set already. But now that they've had 2 rainouts and the days have been extended, everybody's pitching is available. The championship series was supposed to start tomorrow, but I think that's been pushed to Monday now. Clinton was the upper state champion in 3A, so they're waiting the winner of Brooklyn Casey and Hanahan. And then in 2A, you got Gray Collegiate in Oceanside. This will be the 3rd time since March Gray Collegiate and Oceanside has played each other in a boys state championship. They did it in boys basketball, and just last weekend they did it in boys soccer where Oceanside beat Gray Collegiate. So those 2 teams will be playing for a state championship again. And talk about Gray Collegiate. They were down 6-0 in their first game on Wednesday night against Mid Carolina. Scored 7 runs in the top of the 7th. Blaine Redmond hit a go-ahead grand slam in that game, so they won that game 7-6, and then they were able to win the second game as well.
Oh, we lost Chris.
Guess we're going to take a break.
Yeah, let's do that. We said we were going to take a break anyway. I'm efforting. I've got a text in. We'll check with Chris on this as well. He said the baseball game for tomorrow between Blythewood and River Bluff is scheduled for 2, but I'm checking. I believe it may be 7, so we'll check on that. We'll hit a break. Deering is calling back. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with that and get into some football stuff as well. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
You missed any of the early game?
You can catch up by going to the early game on demand page at 1075thegame.com.
Or by downloading our 1075 The Game app on iTunes or Google Play.
With the CBS Sports Minute. 2 weeks before the French Open, 14-time champion Rafael Nadal announced yesterday that he cannot compete because of a lingering hip injury. The soon-to-be 37-year-old king of clay, who is tied with Novak Djokovic atop the men's history books with 22 major titles, also revealed that he expects 2024 to be his final competitive season. Too bad for all of us tennis fans. I'm Boomer Esiason.
CBS Sports Radio. Nothing enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text STAY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text STAY to 42424. That's STAY to 42424. Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Sponsored by South Carolina Education Lottery. The Powerball jackpot for Saturday is $162 million. Be sure to stop by your local South Carolina Education Lottery retailer and get your ticket today. See seeducationlottery.com for jackpot odds and a store near you.
There are many reasons people contact us.
We're moving across country.
We've decided to scale down and store some furniture for the time being.
My gal and I broke up, so I need to get out soon.
While the reasons may vary, the expectations are the same: a smooth transition.
Sosa Delivery and Movers, trusted movers who care. The move done on time and on budget. Call today, 803-553-1237. Online at sosamovessc.com.
Luke Kane from Mosquito Squad helps you fight the bite.
Mosquitoes are disease vectors. They are going to cause other problems just besides those pesky bites. We're going to help you enjoy your outdoor space, your kids enjoy your outdoor space, and your pets. Heartworms come from mosquitoes. Those are disease vectors for your animals as well, and we'd love to protect those just as our family and just as our kids. We tailor each one of our services for each unique individual customer. Call Mosquito Squad today, here to help you fight the bite.
Be sure to use the promo code MySquad and get a 10% discount on all services.
At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we know how serious injuries change people's lives. I'm Jason Reynolds. When you're involved in a major car or truck accident, my team is on your side. You don't have to be alone. Let's do this together.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When you're hurt at work, my team is with you from start to finish. We're people with a passion for helping injured workers. Bring your case to us and stop the worry. We've got this.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Get ready to save with Spectrum One. You get Spectrum Internet delivering fast and reliable speeds for $49.99 a month, free advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced privacy and security, and a free Spectrum mobile line with unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G. Go to spectrum.com/save more and use the Spectrum One savings calculator to see how much you can save today.
Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
It's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Give my friends at Zerust Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning a call. Right now, mention me, Bill Gunner, at 1075 The Game, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. Book online at ZerustColumbia.com.
Just how does a car repair shop last in business for over 50 years like Sunneth Automotive? By providing affordable, reliable, and honest auto repair. But if you ask them, they'll tell you it's their loyal customers who come back time and time again to entrust them with their car repairs. Well-trained technicians, service packages, and monthly specials. Isn't it time you became a customer? Give them a call or come by at 1410 North Millwood Avenue or make an appointment at SunnethAuto.com.
Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Still working some earlier slowdowns. I-26 eastbound, exit 91. Right lane is blocked. I-26 westbound, same location, exit 91. The 2 lanes are blocked. Highway 6 at I-20, still working that accident. I-20 eastbound after Spears Creek Church Road, getting that cleaned up. And Wood Trail at 321, an accident. Also, showers lingering till about late morning or lunchtime. 74 for the high today, partly cloudy, 84 tomorrow. Might see a return of some storms on Sunday, and 80 would be the high. Rain right now, it's coming down pretty good. 59 at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
$8:19 on your rainy Friday morning. Jen Jensen, Bill Gunner, and joined by Chris Deering there as we took a break through that. And Chris, real quick, this morning I was telling Preston what you had sent me about the baseball, and right as you kind of broke up, I was going to come back to this. And Preston wants to have this discussion. Today is not going to be the day to do it. We want you to be in studio. It's going to be more of an hour or hour and a half long discussion. But you mentioned something, and it caught in your text to me this morning, and it caught Preston's attention. And I think he wants to discuss it with you. It's a very it's becoming an extremely, I think, sensitive subject. But you mentioned the 2A state championship will be between Oceanside Collegiate and Gray Academy. And you pointed out the third time that these schools have met for a state championship since March, basketball and soccer being the other two. And I don't want to go down this path this morning because, as Preston said, this is more of an hour-long discussion on this, but it is something where I'd like to invite you in studio, set that up. But it is something you mentioned. You said that third time, and these schools are different than other 2A schools.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. There's a difference there. Yeah, this is a bigger conversation. I agree with that. I would like to come in the studio and talk about it. And I do think, I've mentioned it several times on this show already. We had some teams, some sports elect to forfeit games against Gray Collegiate earlier this year. If that happens when football season rolls around, that's going to get a whole different level of attention than what a couple of spring sports did and canceling games against them. I tweeted this out earlier this week. Fairfield Central released their football schedule, and for every game, every region game, they had, all the information. And with the Gray Collegiate game, it was sort of to be determined. So it'll be interesting to see where this thing goes. But, the facts are facts. This is the third time that a boys team has played for a state championship between those two schools. Going into the spring sports and the lower classifications, there were 16 state championships awarded. 13 of those had come from either a charter or private school between 1A and 2A. So we'll see where it shakes out at the end of all the spring sports and see how it falls. I know that in 1A baseball, I think it's Lakeview, Southside Christian. So you got a private school playing in the 1A baseball with a chance to win it. And then 2A, you got the two charter schools in Gray Collegiate and Oceanside. So it is a bigger conversation. I'd like to come in and sit down and talk about it, get people's feedback on it. It's a hot topic, and it's a lot of people have differing opinions on it. I'm gonna stick by mine. Nothing could change my opinion. I think those schools need to be. I'm okay with them being part of the South Carolina High School League. That's how it's set up to be. But I do think they need to award their own state championships and let them play against each other. So that's my stance on it. I know there's a lot of different options out there. Using the multiplier that a lot of different states use has been talked about. I'm not the biggest fan of the multiplier. Like I said, I like to put those teams. And when these teams come on, you got some more charter schools coming next year. They can have over 20 schools. So I think you got enough to have a state championship just amongst the charter and private schools. Probably the biggest thing to work out in that scenario, in my opinion, is to travel, because you'll have schools all the way from Greenville, Spartanburg area to Horry County to the Charleston area. So they'll be spread out. So, like I said, the biggest thing will probably have to be travel that needs to be worked out. But, get creative and figure it out. And one thing I do want to mention, and again, this is a bigger conversation than what we got time for today, is a lot of times you see on Twitter the anger from people is directed at the South Carolina High School League, and that's misguided. If you want to change in how things are done, you need to contact your local state representative. That's where it's in the State House. It's not with the High School League. They're going by the rules that are set by the state legislature. So they need to, if you want a change made to how things are done, that's how you need to present it. It's not the South Carolina High School League. Well, and I do not miss. I try to stay out of it when I see people talk about that on Twitter, because your anger is misguided. It's not. You should not have your anger towards the South Carolina High School League. I've said things about them over. I mean, I've been doing this 30 plus years. There's been decisions they've made that I didn't always agree with, but this absolutely has nothing to do with the league. And so, if you have issues with the charter and the private schools, you need to contact your state, whoever your local representative is in the state house, and see if they can do something about it.
Yeah, we will get you back. I want you to be in studio. Preston wants to be part of that conversation. So again, we're not going to go fully down that path today. We will do that in the coming weeks, though. Find a day that's convenient for you and have you in to get a little bit more into that, because again, I know it's controversial. It's a hot topic. It's polarizing. I mean, it's everything, and we'll let you kind of weigh in on what you know about it in there. But that's for another day, another time. Let's get into a couple things real quick. You've got something big you want to talk about. Prep Red Zone Network, obviously, who you work for, do a phenomenal job. You've got some big things happening over the next few months as we count down to the start of high school football season.
Yeah, so right now you got the spring practices finishing up at most schools across the state. And what we decided to do, sort of a unique, different look at things. And I'm going to give credit where credit is due. And a lot of people out there will remember this name when I say it. Scott Hood, who used to work at Gamecock Central, is now out in New Mexico. And he actually works for the Prep Red Zone site in New Mexico. And he came up with the idea of previewing every region in the state and picking each team's MVP. So we started actually yesterday. Ian Guerin had the first one released. So we will go through all 38 regions in the state of South Carolina with the public schools and pick each team's MVP and write something about them and why we think that person's going to be their MVP. So 219 schools in the South Carolina High School League, and we go pick each team's MVP going into the season. So that's going to be rolling out between now over the next month. We'll touch on all 38 regions. We've already divvied up who's doing which region. Looking forward to it. I actually started on a couple of my regions yesterday, so looking forward to getting that out there. And that ought to be a fun, just conversation piece. We don't know who each team's MVP is going to be at this point, but we got thoughts on it, and we go put it out there and let people talk about it and go from there. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a little fun piece that we're all doing. I read Ian's yesterday. He covered one of the beach regions over in Horry County and did a great job with it. Matter of fact, I don't think I've retweeted it. I need to do that this morning. So again, we got all 38 regions we're going to preview and pick each team's MVP. And like I said, this is the brainchild of Scott Hood. Like I said, people that's been around this area a long time and part of Gamecock Central will remember Scott. He did a great job covering the Gamecocks, and glad to be a partner, a teammate of Scott's now with Prep Red Zone Network.
No, that sounds like a great project. Obviously, again, we'll wrap up the state championships here for the spring season. And then, as you mentioned, you get fully invested in the football season. Again, real quick, real quick before we let you go, American Heritage Christian. I know just to clarify, I wanted to get the two things with you. We're about out of time, but Steve LaPrade resigning at Fort Dorchester, at least as far as you know, a huge surprise and just not a lot of information out there on what has transpired down there. Correct?
Yeah, came out of nowhere. I was sitting here at my desk on, I think it was Tuesday afternoon or maybe Wednesday, and somebody sent me a text and asked me, and I said, I've not heard anything about that. And so I started looking at Twitter, and Scott Osberg down in the Charleston area had reported that LaPrade had stepped down and held a press conference Tuesday afternoon, and he just said it was time. I think a lot of times there's probably a lot of factors that went into it. I expect to hear more from LaPrade before it's all said and done. But the timing, end of the school year, spring practice wrapping up. And I will say, I think Fort Dorchester's already named an interim coach for next year, so they won't be hiring someone full-time just yet. So we'll see how that pans out, if that person is a candidate for the job long-term. But yeah, just weird timing with LaPrade. With everything that transpired, he was sort of asked to resign back in January, February, whatever time frame that was. And then he got his job back and looked like he was happy to be back as the football coach at Fort Dorchester. And a couple months later, he resigns again. So, different. It was different. I wasn't expecting that. Came out of nowhere. And I do expect to hear more from maybe LaPrade this summer.
And then real quick, you can now officially tell everybody who American Heritage is going to hire as their next football coach. Last week, you kind of teased it, had to hold off, but you can announce that.
Yeah, and actually it came down last Friday afternoon. Became official. American Leadership Academy.
Leadership.
American Heritage.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, American Leadership Academy. Robin Bacon, who was the former coach at Spring Valley, he was at AC Flora years ago. He's been around for the Columbia for a long time. One of the great guys in the profession. He's been named the football coach at American Leadership. I know he's working on his staff right now. He's got some really good names of people that I've known for a number of years that he expects to join his staff. They'll play a JV schedule next year. Will not play varsity until 2024, when actually realignment all happens. So looking forward to Robin being back in it. Like I said, he stepped down on Spring Valley back in December, and just glad to have him back in the coaching ranks. And there's some more hires for American Leadership Academy out there that's not become official yet. There's some big names that they're looking at for boys basketball and baseball as well. But just can't speak on that just yet. Don't want to do that to anything's official, but they got some big names going over there. So they're going about it. They want to be successful in athletics, obviously. So we'll see where it all leads with that new school opening up in Red Bank.
Chris, we always appreciate it. I had a lot to get in there, so 2 segments had to work this week. Again, we'll get you back in. I know polarizing topic there with charter schools and 2A and all that, so that'll be more of an in-studio appearance for you here in the coming weeks. But appreciate you providing all that information as we roll through the very end of the high school season. I look forward to catching up with you next week.
All right, appreciate it. You guys have a great weekend.
You too. Take care. Chris Deering joining us as he does each and every Friday for the Bow Tires High School Highlights of the Week. You can follow him on Twitter at cdeering82 is the way to do that. Check out all the great work on Prep Red Zone SC is how you can visit that and see what he was talking about. 803-404-6100. When we come back, we'll transition. We'll talk a little golf now. PGA Championship back underway up in New York. We'll catch up with Tom Mason of Partee Golf and get a little preview from him. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Here's what's coming up on The Game.
Friday from 9 a.m. to noon in the bonus, the Garnet Trust Hour and Gamecock Central Takeover Hour will broadcast live at Firehouse Subs, 2301 Augusta Road, West Columbia.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Summer vacations, all the rage. Usually they are. And normally you want to take a brand new car, truck, or SUV with you. Have that nice, clean car smell. Remember Clark Griswold did? Why wouldn't you want to lead your family out into the wild wilderness in a brand new car, truck, and SUV? But you want to save money when you do it. You want to get the best deal possible. You want to have the largest selection of vehicles anywhere in the Midlands. And at Love Chevrolet, that's precisely what they have provided. For over 60 years, Love Chevrolet has provided the summer vacation car, truck, or SUV, or as we wrap up the month of May, they've provided graduation gifts for those brand new graduates. Whatever you're looking for, now is the time to visit Love Chevrolet. I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, or you can visit them on the web, lovechevy.com. Whether it's the 14 acres of brand new Chevys, maybe it's the $1,000 low price guarantee, meaning you can actually shop other dealerships, take their deal back to the folks at Love Chevrolet, and they will top it, or they'll write you a check for $1,000. Or whether it's the incredible customer service, the sales staff, so friendly, so knowledgeable, ready to help you pick out that brand new car. Love Chevrolet has been there for families for over 60 years, making sure we get the best deals in the Midlands. Go visit them, I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, or on the web, lovechevy.com. Get out to Love Chevrolet and find new roads.
At the United States Postal Service, we're reinventing our network to help keep your business moving. With new shipping options to deliver better value, greater flexibility to conveniently reach your customers, more confident shipping with new informed delivery features, and new electric vehicles for a cleaner, brighter future. Fast, reliable, perfectly orchestrated. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/moving forward.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
Family is comfort. It's care. It's a safe place. It seems when you need help, you can always count on family. At Broom Heating, Air, and Electrical, they are a family you can depend on and have been for 53 years. Heating and air is their passion. Customer service is their pleasure. And when Broom Heating, Air, and Electrical are in your home, your family is theirs. For an appointment, call 803-754-9409 or visit their website at broomheating.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join our growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
If you have IRS tax problems, it can seem like a vicious cycle that never ends, year after year. Just getting the mail can be stressful and overwhelming. Don't let it ruin your life. There is a solution. Since 2008, the attorneys at Ecton Law Firm have devoted their practice to the resolution of tax problems for individuals and businesses across the Carolinas. We have the knowledge and experience and are dedicated to the success of each client. We are local attorneys with local solutions. At the free initial consultation, we'll listen to your concerns, your goals, and explain the systematic process we use in solving your tax problem. From that initial meeting, you'll see there is a solution. We're dedicated to improving your life by solving your tax problems. If we sound like someone you want to work with, take that first step. Give us a call at 803-771-9800 or go to ectonlawfirm.com. You'll be glad you did.
Carolina Honda Powerhouse is your local Honda Power Sports superstore with a Honda motorcycle to fit just about any budget and riding style. From cruisers, sports bikes, and dirt bikes to the world-famous Honda Goldwing, Carolina Honda Powerhouse has them all, and they're ready to ride. Experienced riders, new riders, young riders, Carolina Honda Powerhouse has a Honda motorcycle just for you. On-road or off-road, all roads lead to Carolina Honda Powerhouse. Take exit 70 off I-20 and turn by the Flying J. On the web at carolinahonda.com. Always wear a helmet, eye protection, and protective clothing. Never use the street as a racetrack.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
The Guttermen have been providing top-notch service throughout the Midlands for over 47 years, building their business on relationships, not gimmicks. And you can call them locally, not a 1-800 number. Call them today at 791-7147 and look for the guys in the powder blue trucks.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
Ever wonder why your business doesn't show up on online search maps, but your competitors do? It's hundreds of things. Things that Cumulus Boost can identify and fix. And that's how we boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for listening on this Friday morning. It's time for a First Alert traffic update. This is a big one as we continue to take a look at I-26 westbound. Road is blocked right now between exit 91 and exit 85. A good slowdown there, of course, due to an accident. One more time, that is I-26 westbound. Listen up. Road being blocked right now between exit 91 and exit 85, really backing up traffic right now on I-26 westbound. Please be safe on those morning travels. Of course, if you're heading out that way, might need to give yourself some extra time. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I am meteorologist Tony Chiavaroli.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
$8:40 on a Friday morning. Jen Jensen, Bill Gunner, and joined now by Tom Mason of Partee Golf as we look up north, Tom. And yesterday, I'm not into this with the LIV versus PGA stuff. There is a golfer that I don't want to see do well, and that's Bryson DeChambeau, and I really don't have an explanation why. But yesterday was an interesting day. You started off with a weather delay, and you wrapped up with some decent weather, and we're back at it today up there at Oak Hill.
Yeah, they're back on the golf course, I see, and I haven't seen any TV coverage yet, but kind of interesting. I'm sitting here looking at the leaderboard, and one of the cool things, you know, PGA professionals like myself, club professionals, there's 20 of us that can qualify to play in the event, and I'm sitting here looking at the leaderboard, and there's a gentleman named Michael Block, who is a club pro. He has moved up to 3 under, so he's in second place, one behind Bryson. So you could root for a club pro over Bryson if you want, Bill.
Did you what? They actually late in the afternoon. I forgot about Michael Block. I just saw that. I was like, oh, that name rings a bell. And I was remembering he. I think this was his 5th or 6th appearance in the PGA. Did you pay attention yesterday? They spotlighted him a few times.
Yeah, I actually saw that yesterday. I interviewed him while he was playing one of the holes, and I think he said it was his 5th time. So pretty cool experience when a fellow that's working 30, 40, 50 hours a week, giving lessons, running a golf course, whatever, gets that chance to play in the major like that. It's a pretty cool opportunity. So hope he does well.
How do you anticipate this course playing out now as we go through the weekend? From what I've read, correct me if I'm wrong, what I've read, the weather was supposed to be at its absolute worst yesterday morning with the cold and trying to deal with the frost warning and everything. But it's supposed to warm up, and I think it's supposed to play fairly well, although even Michael Block said, a lot of the golfers have said, this course appears to be playing very fair heading into the weekend.
Well, I think that's one of the things that the PGA of America does is they usually set the PGA Championship up, I want to call it as a fair competition. You know, the USGA has they have the let's make the golf course as difficult as we can possibly make it, and let's grow the rough way up, and let's do things to make the golf course as hard as it can be for the best players in the world. I think the PGA Championship kind of takes a page from the Augusta and says, hey, let's make it fair. Let's make it a tough test. Let's not let the guys shoot 25 under to win it. But if they get to 10, 11, or 12 under, we really don't mind as long as it's a good competition. So I think, Oak Hill up there and near Rochester, New York, it's an old Donald Ross design, and you got a lot of false fronts, and it's a beautiful golf course. And I think the PGA is going to set it up where, if somebody gets to 10 or 12 under, they don't mind, or even, 13 or 14 under, they don't mind. They just want to see a good championship.
Yeah, it's set up. It's set up that way, at least so far. Bryson DeChambeau tees off today at 231. Eric Cole, also 3 under, tees off at 912. Dustin Johnson has just teed off. He is even through his first hole. How did you assess Dustin's performance yesterday?
Well, he's. I didn't get to see him play much, but obviously he's playing good. He just came off that LIV event where he won there. But the few shots I saw him hit, he hit it well, and we would love to see the hometown boy win. If you don't like the LIV Tour, that's fair. I understand that, but we always got to root for that hometown boy to come through with the victory.
You know, Tom, I've said again, Tom Mason joining us this morning. He's got a couple great events coming up out at Partee, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. But Tom, one of the things I've said that Preston and I kind of debated, these are still good golfers. If a live golfer wins, it's not a huge shock. I mean, I think people are making too much of that. I can understand making something of the backstory. It's not like Dustin Johnson went to a tour that diminished his skills, or Brooks Koepka, or as much as I don't like him, Bryson DeChambeau. Like, these are still world-class golfers that have won majors. People, I think, make too much of it if a live golfer wins. Are you with me on that, or are you kind of say, no, that tour winning something means a little more?
No, I'm 100% in agreement with you, Bill. And, I don't fault any of the guys for going to the live tour. The money that they were offered, they couldn't turn down. And, quite frankly, the live tour has allowed a lot of the guys that are playing in the PGA Championship right now the ability to be able to play in the PGA Championship, because it opened up more spots on the PGA Tour. But Dustin Johnson doesn't become any less of a golfer, or Brooks Koepka doesn't become any less of a golfer just because they're playing 3 rounds instead of 4. I mean, these guys are still preparing and trying to win golf tournaments just like the guys on the PGA Tour are every week. So, to me, it's one of those things that, these guys, they chose the route they wanted to go. Kind of when I was a kid and the USFL came along and Herschel Walker jumped on board, and he could have gone to the NFL, but he went to the USFL. It's, same type thing. And to me, it's promoted some healthy competition as well.
He's Tom Mason joining us this morning from, again, Partee Golf Center, and you've got a couple events coming up. Hopefully, weather permitting, which it should. You've got a drive, chip, and putt qualifier tomorrow a little bit.
Yeah, we're supposed to have about 150 kids out here for a drive, chip, and putt qualifier. It's and the problem isn't so much is it going to be nice tomorrow. It's going to be how much we can dry it out to actually host this thing here tomorrow. So if we could do that, that'd be great. And the summer's firing up, and we have PGA Junior League getting ready to get going. And I could talk about PGA Junior League all day, but it's been one of the greatest growth of the game programs that golf ever came up with. Anybody wants information on that, they can call me over here at the Partee. We would love to have your child sign up for that. I run that with Chase Butler and Stephen Hartwig here in town. And then in October, Bill, there's a couple offshoots of Long Drive. World Long Drive kind of went by the wayside during COVID, and a couple different groups have started up some long drive competitions, and we are actually going to host the World Championships for what they call the Ultimate Long Drive, which has amateur, professional, kids, all kinds of different age groups, all kinds of different skill levels. They have different divisions, and we're going to be hosting the World Championship for that in October. So got a bunch of cool stuff coming up at the Partee.
Tom, we will definitely get you back on in the coming weeks. We'll talk more about Partee Golf Center, that World Long Drive Championship. I know Hank Parks, who we saw not too long ago, has been hitting a couple out there at your driving range and participating in a few kind of tournaments. So we'll talk more about that. But I appreciate you stopping by this morning to talk a little PGA Tour and PGA Championship and what's going on out at Partee Golf Center.
All right, Bill, I appreciate it. You guys have a great day.
You too. Take care. Again, Tom Mason, go check him out, Partee Golf Center. He's a PGA professional, does a great job teaching, can offer some lessons as well, and certainly a lot of knowledge on the PGA Championship. When we come back, we'll wrap up the program. We've got it. Jen's been working. Jen's been working hard, and you know what? We've got a week in review. Jen's worked hard to put it together. Right now, though, let's give you a chance to win one pair of tickets to this afternoon's 3 o'clock baseball game at Founders Park, 803-404-6100. 803-404-6100. We'll take caller number 4, 803-404-6100. Clear your schedule. Baseball will be played today, and we're giving you a chance to win a pair of tickets. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Got something to say?
Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer.
At 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Indeed.com. Finding a great hire can be a challenge. That's why there's Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 toward your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring correctional officers, nurses, food services, facilities maintenance, mental health professionals, law enforcement officers, teachers, and more statewide. There are sign-on bonuses for officers, food services, nurses, and law enforcement officers. South Carolina Department of Corrections has great employee benefits like 6 weeks of PTO accrued yearly and police officer retirement. Start a rewarding new career today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for Integrated Media. You know, one of the reasons we all live here in South Carolina is the weather, right? We love being outside as often as we can. And these days, Integrated Media is enhancing that life by installing amazing outdoor home theater systems that give you the best of both worlds. Amazing picture and sound from equipment built to be outside. From completely weatherproof SunBright TVs to Sonos soundbars or in-ground speakers and subwoofers, Integrated Media can completely change how you and your family enjoy time on the deck, patio, or around the pool. Call 803-948-8327. Let Integrated Media come out to your house, see exactly what they can do for you when it comes to an outdoor system. And when you couple it with Integrated Media's professional-grade Wi-Fi, you won't believe the home theater experience is just as good outside. Check out some of their work on Facebook and Instagram. Then call 803-948-8327. Home theater, Wi-Fi that works everywhere, home security, and much more. Do it all better with Integrated Media.
Getting rid of pests is not a do-it-yourself project. So call the 75-year professionals at Dodson Pest Control first. Visit DodsonBROS.com to find an office near you. Dodson, the pest professionals you trust.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for listening on this Friday morning. It's time for a First Alert traffic update. This is a big one as we continue to take a look at I-26 westbound. Road is blocked right now between exit 91 and exit 85. A good slowdown there, of course, due to an accident. One more time, that is I-26 westbound. Listen up. Road being blocked right now between exit 91 and exit 85. Really backing up traffic right now on I-26 westbound. Please be safe on those morning travels, of course. If you're heading out that way, might need to give yourself some extra time. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic update. I am meteorologist Tony Chivaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
$8:53 on a rainy Friday morning. You know what that means? Kids are going to be tracking in mud. It's going to be dirt in your house. Oh, it's not the way to start the weekend. Now you're going to make a mess. Probably having a big watch party. Preakness is this weekend. You got playoffs, South Carolina baseball. You're going to need someone to clean your home. Make the carpets, the tile, the upholstery all look insanely clean. Guess what? Zero Res can do that. Their patented ZR water technology, scientifically proven to keep your carpet, rugs, towel, upholstery all insanely clean and keep it cleaner longer. Give them a phone call today, 803-262-4020, and get that scheduled cleaning. Right now, mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $129. You can schedule online, zerorescolumbia.com. PGAChampionship.com. Or, again, you can schedule by calling 803-262-4020. Mention me, Bill Gunner, 1075 The Game, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $129. Great deal. Make the house look clean. That patented ZR water technology, ZRS, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean. It's been a busy week. We're counting down the last days of May. Just think, last week, next week, Jen, the last full week of May, and then we're into June, and you're
That's hard to believe.
Heading off to Indianapolis to go wave the checkered flag there in pit row, whatever it is you do to do that. That means another week wrapped up. It's time for another week in review, the absolute best of the week, and anything you've missed. Jen Jensen's put it together. Let's hear what you may have missed or what we did incorrectly this past week.
Coming to your city.
Break into something else.
I even shaved for this, Jen. I shaved to come in here and have to do this.
Impressive.
I can't pronounce this. I don't know how to pronounce Demi Sumi. Yeah, North Carolina State. Yeah, look this one up and see if you can knock this one out of the park.
I actually just defended you. That kind of hurt.
I am now dumber.
Just an agent of chaos. Just wanted to see how this would play out. Yeah.
Just do that for an hour. You say it, I'll say it. You say it, I'll say it.
Preston's the one who was like, hey, let me throw this little grenade into the morning show.
He ran up that hill because there was a cupcake at the top of the hill. That's what it was.
Shout out to Sosa. I've been waiting for this moment, Bill.
We'll return with Preston Thorne and Ms. Bill Gunter.
Peel your banana, slip on its skin.
In Toy Story,
okay,
where they have to go in and I think save some of the guys trying to get the horse and the female girl, the female
Jessie
did not see that one coming.
I love Toy Story. I'm not going to deny that. I've watched Toy Story tons of times.
Money. Tony Parker, thank you. He played.
Okay, I see why Wembanyama is a problem now. I got it. Parker, one syllable at a time. Just take it slow, Bill.
Well, it wasn't a matter of saying Parker. It was I completely blanked on his last name.
The very French name of Parker. Parker.
Yeah.
Welcome to our world.
Parker. There we go.
Parker.
Yeah. He's running up buildings. It's crazy. You know who he dated, Bill?
Parker?
Eva Longoria. You want to try that one?
Like just anything for the last 40 minutes. I've just any little thing that touches me, I'm like freaking out. The cobweb thing sticks with you. But I'm a lot tougher than you give me credit for.
Okay, ma'am.
Oh, there he is up at top.
Thank you.
Fluffy.
What? No. Fluffy dogs have hair. I've seen fluffy dogs. There are fluffy dogs that have a lot of. This is a short-haired dog.
Well nourished.
That is loving this NIL deal. So I don't know what Juice Wells is being paid, but Sosa's Juice Wells' dog is loving.
I mean, nobody wants to.
You said you was going to leave it at that. Stop right there. Just put a period and put a button on it, bow it up. Let's move on.
Everything from J.C. Sherbert to Heath Klein to Sosa the dog. It's been a fun week. We appreciate you being a part of it. We are off for a few days. We'll be back on Monday morning, 6 a.m. bright and early. See you then. It's the early game. 1075 The Game.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock quarterback Spencer Rattler, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
You all have a good weekend.
This is Trooper Tony Kennedy.
Everybody have a great weekend. Appreciate y'all being a part of it. Happy anniversary to Trey. Y'all take care.
Yep. See you guys.
Thanks.